Cloud. Oh, that's a new connection. Okay. So it is Wednesday, April 29th, 6:41. We'll call the IDC meeting to order. Present is myself, Renee Deli, Laura Parker, Sandy Olerhead, Denise Luciano, Michael Toole, and then we have a guest, Alyssa Nowak, on the call. And you guys all have a copy of the agenda? Okay. So same agenda as always. I have some updates on the on item number 2. The first one is new business interests, if we have any, and then discussion on the bylaw and overlay project, including but not limited to the HCA, the application process, and then project deliverables. And then we have some meeting minutes that Denise found, one from somewhere far, far away from December of 2019.
Oh,
and
is that
then
the one you were missing?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one I sent out. And she like, it was almost, I felt like it was an immediate response where she's like, oh, here's April. And by the way, I have December. So aside from the 15th, we'll be up to date after this meeting. And I have 2 of them that I tried. I didn't have time today to send to Lucia to get posted, but the 2 that we did last meeting. It's hard like now because I can't just sign them and then go and drop them off. Right? Like I have to, like there, like before I had her print them out and then I just signed them there, but now like my printer's been on the fritz. So I had to do the unplug it today to get it to actually print, which I typically don't have to do. Usually it's something else, the ink or the paper. But so, yeah, so thank you. So we'll be up to date.
And I'll have, next meeting, I'll have last meeting's minutes done.
Okay. Well, you'll have them before, right? So I can send them out?
Yeah, I'll have them before then, so I'll get them done before then.
Okay. Okay, so why don't we talk, any updates on the new business interests from anyone?
No. You talked to Gator?
No, I have not. Well, I wasn't going to talk to Gator. I was going to provide their information to everyone.
Okay.
But I
Did you
didn't
reach
send
out
that
to them?
out. No, and the reason is because it took me, I finished up, what was it, just this past Sunday, I finished up a modified presentation so that we could post it on the planning board site and on the EDC site. So I wanted, my plan was that when that went up, everything would go out to them, but I just haven't had time. Was it this Sunday or was it last Sunday?
For what?
That we updated the IDC Facebook and
It was
the
2
planning
Sundays
board
ago.
got that? Was it 2 Sundays?
2
Yeah.
Sundays.
God, I feel like it was just a couple days ago. So that's my bad. No, I haven't sent that email out. I do have, you know what, Laura, what I don't have is, and I hit it once, but I think because I have 2 accounts of Dropbox, I think my Google, whatever the Google link is, like I hit it one day and I was able to see all of the documents that we posted, like all the stuff that Sandy initially posted for the maps. And you posted that list of everybody that we spoke to. I can't get to it now. Like, can you guys shoot out a link to the Google Drive? I thought that I bookmarked it, but I can't find it in any of my bookmarks.
I think, Sandy, that was one you created, right? I think I just added to it.
Yeah, you want just the one that had all the maps in it?
Yes, because that's where she put up the that spreadsheet for everybody that we spoke with.
I gotta update the spreadsheet to put
Denise, I mean, Renee,
Lucky
if you
Green
log
Ladies.
in, if you log into Google Drive, you'll be able to see all the links you're authorized to be in. That might be an easier way, just so you can bookmark that.
Well, I'm logged into Google all the time because that's how I like that. My Gmail and everything's on there. Is there a different place that? Well, we can talk about that later.
You know what? Mine is not I don't think I put mine in Google Sheets. I think mine was an Excel spreadsheet, which is probably why you can't find it.
I can't find the whole drive.
Oh.
I used to be able to pull it up, but I can't find it now. So I don't know if I deleted the bookmark. I don't know. Denise, that background is like super freaky. I just have to tell you that.
It was funny. I thought it was a Star Wars thing, and then I looked down. I was like, oh,
Winter's
no,
coming.
Game of Thrones.
You're muted, Denise.
It's Star Wars.
Oh, it's Star Wars?
Yeah.
I thought, wait. Now I'm confused.
It looks like the final scene of Games of Thrones.
It did. Originally, I was like, oh, Star Wars. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, because it looks like there is Jon Snow and Daenerys on the ground after he killed her.
Right.
But, okay.
thought it was some sort of zombie picture. Shows you how
Now I
how
figure
far removed of television I am, or movies.
All right. So Renee, that spreadsheet,
Yes, that spreadsheet.
that's in Excel, but I have to update it. I was actually going to ask you for the Lucky Green Ladies presentation, but you had sent it. So I just need to update it because they would be the last one in there.
Okay, and we have the gentleman from Maine on there.
Casco?
Yes.
Yes, that's the last one in here.
Okay. What do we have total? 6, 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you said you were talking to somebody, Adriana Gardiello. I have that name written down, but I haven't seen or heard anything on her.
Adriana.
Potential new retail establishment.
Mm,
The
I'll
name
I'll
you
look through my.
threw out in the last, it was either the last meeting or the meeting before that.
That would have been Alyssa.
No, I literally have her name written down and spelled out, Adriana Gardiello.
Are you sure you didn't write a note on that paper from something else? Does that
Positive.
sound familiar to anyone?
It is under 2 potential new retail establishments. You gave us one name, and then we actually met with Alyssa. So I filled her in as assuming she was the second one.
Oh my goodness, I hope I didn't overlook somebody. I'll look. I
Okay.
don't, it's not ringing a bell.
Okay, maybe they
Scares
reached
me.
out to Mike or Paul.
No, no. I know Alyssa spoke with Paul. I think the last one before that was Andre,
Who's Andre?
Solar Therapeutics.
Oh,
Okay, I'll look.
okay.
I'm concerned now that I may have overlooked something. Okay, so no updates on number 1. So let's talk about the status of the bylaw and the overlay project. So let me talk a little bit about the town meeting. I know Laura, you were on there yesterday. Sandy, I think you were. Were you on there yesterday? No, you weren't. Michael, you were. Denise, were you on there on the meeting
No.
last night?
No.
So, there's discussion right now with the selectmen on whether or not we hold the town meeting on June 8th. There's discussion about trimming down the warrant article to only those essential article, or the warrant only to those essential articles. Furthering on to how do we, regardless of the date, how do we hold a town meeting in this environment with social distancing, and the concerns, of course, for the safety of the residents. So having said that, I know, I've had conversations with Paul, and I think we're still going to push forward to assume that it's a June 8th date. We're still going to have the public hearing on the 5th. I have reached out to, while we, the public hearing won't include the panel that we talked about. I'm still considering, and I have a couple emails back and forth with Shane on doing a panel through the Norton Media Center, whether we do it virtually or we get people in there and we just have them spread out and they have multiple cameras. I haven't gone into great detail on that, but what I did do is I reached out to the woman that I know who's a nurse to come and still speak at the public hearing, because I think that that's a huge just piece of information to get out to people about the benefits, and what she's seeing in the medical community from a perspective of, adult use marijuana. So I did talk to her. She didn't give me a yes or no on whether or not she was available on May 5th. So I'll find out for sure later tonight or tomorrow. But right now, regardless of when the town meeting might be, we're going to assume that it's going to be June 8th, and we're going to push forward with it. So all the notices, as you know, went out from the signs posted in the ground to the mailed items that it seemed like they hit kind of on different days for different people based on some of the Facebook posts, but they're out there. We've had 7 or 8 requests. Laura, you probably know this best. So Paul's been sending along questions that have come in. I've gotten a couple emails. 5?
5. Well, 5 you've sent me. Sorry, 6, if we
Okay.
include Greg Vincent from Facebook.
Yes. So yeah, I sent you his email, didn't I? He emailed me
Yes.
the exact same thing that he posted online.
Yeah, it looked like a copy and paste from Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. So I have 7, but two of those Paul responded to. I thought I sent them to you. Richard Gregory and Laurel Curran.
I have both of those. So the first one I have is Kelly Hollisey.
Yep.
She didn't have an issue per se with anything that was proposed. She did not want to see it next to the daycare center.
Yep. And Denise and I spoke with her today. I can give you an update on that.
Okay. The second was Catherine Metcalf, the one who
Yep.
was vehemently opposed to it going at the Roach Brothers Plaza.
Yep.
At Godfrey Drive. Lauren Curran also at Godfrey Drive. She was more surprised to find herself commercially zoned and asked about a school buffer, but didn't seem to have any issues per se with the bylaw.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Gregory, an attorney for a resident who got an abutters notice, so we don't know where he is, just asked for more information. Jean Keys, not opposed, just wanted to provide information on odor and cultivation with guidance that was used in Bellingham.
Yep. Which
And
we all
Greg-
have today. So we'll talk
Yeah.
about that. Sorry.
And Greg Vincent was number 6. So who am I missing?
Justine York.
Nope, don't have her.
Okay. Let me make sure I send that to you.
Okay.
I emailed her and she responded back, so I'll touch base with her.
And all these responses are coming in through how?
A couple are coming in through the forms and a couple are coming in. So the forms is like Nicole has Paul's name on one section. And then, so I think some of these may have come in when Paul's name was there, but my name is up there now. So like the one that came from Greg came through the forms, and then Paul, I think, received a direct email from somebody as well, based on the content, but they come through. There's just like when you click on a Norton Mass email address, it takes you through a form and you can fill that out.
Okay. The one that was sent from the attorney, did they have an address on that?
No.
No
No.
Could
identifiers.
you repeat that name again, please?
The attorney's name was Richard Gregory.
And he was
hang on.
representing who?
It doesn't even give the name of the person. It says that he is representing somebody who got a notification from the planning board. Hang on one second. I'll give you his. Richard Gregory at Orson and Brusini in Providence. Represents a client who received notice from the planning board regarding a May 5th meeting marijuana overlay district. It just says, please give me a short explanation as to the effect of the amending the zoning bylaw to add a marijuana overlay district as to the parcels listed. Specifically, if adopted, will the proposed amendment classify the cultivation, sale, etc. of marijuana as quote unquote permitted use within the district, and if so, under what conditions, if any? So
Is the
if he has
parcel in
the
there?
no, and what I'm kind of confused is if he had the abutters notice, I'm assuming it would have directed him to that information. As
Well,
opposed
so
to
there was,
He wants to get it formally written from someone.
well, I think the other thing too is the abutters notice hit on Saturday, right? And Nicole got the information up online on like late Monday or Tuesday morning.
oh,
So
it
while we
wasn't-
had while we had the general information up there, she didn't have the specific, and the other things weren't linked to that particular information. So, and the reason is because she was preparing so when I spoke to her on Thursday or Friday, it was like 1,500 mailings that had to go out. So she had to prioritize that work to get everything mailed, sorted to be delivered on time, and then she posted all the stuff that I'd sent her.
it's
So,
really
so Renee, who's responding to that attorney letter? Is Paul responding to it?
Paul already responded, yeah. So Paul
Okay.
responded to the one from Laurel Curran, who is across from the Roches. She lives in, I believe she said she's on Godfrey Drive. So she's across from Roches, and she's the one that Laura had indicated she was more surprised that her particular area was zoned commercial. That area is not in the overlay. And then the Richard Gregory, the attorney, Paul responded to both of those. So the ones that are just general questions, he's been responding to. The other ones he'll flip to us for more information. And then depending upon, how detailed it is, like I responded to Greg, and I know Greg's primarily concerned with the zoning, in that the zones that are there, they're showing commercial or village commercial, that they're actually residential.
yeah, he thinks the zoning's wrong, which
Well, Paul's going back to look because I mean, we know how this map was, right? They did the map based on the information that they had. So he's looking, Mike has provided him with some stuff, and Paul said, if he has to go and dig for it through papers, he'll go dig through papers to make sure. But Greg has a sequence of it. Like, he responded to my email today, and he has a sequence of all the information. So he and Paul are going to get together on that. And I told him, aside from that, obviously I want to have a conversation with him so he understands like the 2-point criteria that, something that part of it is the parcels are split, parts residential, parts commercial. So if that zoning is correct, just so that he knows that, it's still the 2-point criteria that has to be commercial, village commercial, and industrial, or industrial, as well as the overlay. They can't have the overlay in a residential area. So just, clarifying that information. So I'll touch base with him later in the week. I didn't want to try to type everything in an email for most of these. Like Denise and I, when we talked to Kelly today, I mean, it was a 10-15 minute conversation. She was concerned with, and we've had this discussion with the daycare. It's a daycare center that's adjacent to Oasis on 123, heading out to North Attleboro.
Yeah, the Duncans.
So across the street, I think, from the Duncans, right? I'm not sure. I think the Duncans is on the other side by that barber shop.
We lost Denise.
We lost her picture, and she's muted.
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong
There
button.
she is.
I was gonna say,
That's
I think
face.
they're actually right next door to Oasis, not adjacent, but right next door.
They are.
Oh, it looks like it's kind of behind it.
Well, it is. That it's a weird triangle.
Yeah.
So you've got the bedrock granite is the first one, and then you've got Oasis. And if you go up Pleasant Street, it's the next building on Pleasant Street. If you're on Main Street, then Oasis is the next one on. It's a weird little part. It's a weird area.
Yeah.
So
that whole.
I'm gonna apologize in advance. I'm gonna take the video off for a few minutes while I eat, but I'll put it back on again.
Well, it depends. What are you eating? Is it something that we'll be jealous if we're watching?
It's just pizza.
That's what we had tonight too.
I don't know. They're kind of cool.
No need to
Watch
apologize.
Eat on the bridge of some battleship eating pizza.
I know.
And,
I expect you to put on like a big space helmet right now, Denise. Oh, you're muted again.
No,
Still muted.
sure. Okay.
just not. Maybe laugh.
I'm gonna unmute you.
Yes.
Can I unmute her? No, she went off video. I don't think she can. Maybe she can't hear us. Can you? I'm not gonna ask her. She's
It doesn't
eating.
matter. Okay.
I know. So,
All right,
anyway,
Kelly Holiday.
So Kelly was the one who was on the meeting last night. So
That was her.
Yes, that was her.
Okay,
So she initially had those questions. So we talked to her. She had conversations with other people. There's a 55 and older community there. So she had conversations with other people who were also notified through the abutters notice.
Wait. Where's the over 55 down by Pleasant Street?
I think it's like across the street and down a bit. And it may not be like an official like community, but the area there. I don't know enough about it, but she said that it's over 55. She mentioned that in the conversation.
All right. I looked up her address. Precourt is condos, but I wasn't
Yes.
aware.
She did say it was condos.
I wasn't aware of there being an over 55 back there,
That's
but
Precourt Lane.
yeah.
Yes. Maybe it's not an official. Maybe it's just that's a demographic of the folks who live there. I don't know, but we had a good conversation with her. We talked about the process. Denise talked, like she said to us many times that while there may be a daycare there now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be there, in a year or even a week. The other thing that we had mentioned too were kind of like the controls in the process put in place. So, not only does a retail establishment have to have a public meeting, based on the location prior to engaging in an HCA, but it goes through an application process with us, has to be approved by the Board of Selectmen. And then additionally, the planning board goes through the same thing. So she felt actually really comfortable with that process, understanding that there are multiple checks and balances. And we talked about how we looked at this, again, it's an economic project and we had to be very careful due to legal reasons to not spot zone as well. So while we looked at areas that were zoned commercial, we also put some additional stipulations in there, like, what we were looking at from a criteria perspective of having access from like 123 or 140 and not like, in respect to Reservoir, not going down Reservoir Street and being through the housing area. So yeah, it was a good conversation. Like I said, sometimes it's easier to talk. She was very appreciative of it, said, obviously our conversation was a bit different than the meeting last night, which, I mean, they were two different, really two different topics with the town meeting last night.
When did you speak with her again? Was that today or yesterday?
No, today at 4:30.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was a good conversation. I told her, keep in touch if they have other concerns. Mentioned the public meeting too, and that it would be over Zoom and it'll have a dial-in. So once we get that information, I'm going to send her an email just so that she has it and she can share it with others in her her area who may not be on social media, or may not go to the town website to look at the agenda. But so, I think, and we told her on the phone, our purpose here isn't to try to change anybody's mind about marijuana. Our purpose is just to inform and educate people on the different establishments, how we proceeded with this project and some of the reasons why we did so, like the existing zoning and the limitations, or I shouldn't even say limitations, the gap there in respect to only having the RMD covered.
Okay. How do you plan on responding to, who's the next one? Catherine Metcalf.
So she emailed me. So they're in lockdown in, I think she said Western New York. So I'm going to give them a call.
Who's they?
She and her husband, Bob. It came from both of them.
Okay. Oh, so they're not, okay.
They're residents, but they're in New York right now.
Okay. Okay.
They're the ones that live across. I believe that's the one they live across from Roach Brothers. And
yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that community?
That's an over 55. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that community? Is everyone?
Great Brook.
Great Brook. Thank you. Does she live in there?
Yeah.
Yes. And so it's an interesting, her email cited like reasons why she's opposed to it. So I really want to have more conversation because she said she's opposed to it because it's down the street from the golf course, the private golf course. It's down the street from Xfinity Center where there are younger people that go, and it's across from, the over 55 community. So, I look at it and I mean, those are really the reasons why it's a good location, like the target age population for the dispensaries is around that age. And then obviously, the influx of people from out of town for Xfinity Center and a golf course. I mean, that it makes it a really good commercial property.
It's a completely appropriate commercial property.
Right.
Location.
So I think it'll be a good conversation to understand her concerns and, but I'll be, I'm sorry.
Did she mention anything about a group? And she's with the group from Great Brook, or?
I'm sorry, Michael, you cut out there.
Did she mention that she's working with anyone at Great Brook or anything?
No, it's just from he and her husband. Or she and her husband.
And then Jean's the one that used to work in the planning group for Bellingham. So we sent that information around. What I wanted to do is, I think that we have the odor mitigation covered, but I thought it was worth us taking a look at the Bellingham document. I don't know if anybody's looked at it. I know I sent it out early this morning. And then I believe that we have odor mitigation in both the bylaw that we mentioned as part of the special permit process, and then we also have it in the HCA.
HCA.
I'm sorry, Michael?
We mentioned it in the bylaw, though, too. To your point, we did mention it in the bylaw, didn't we? I know it was in the HCA. We talked about it in the HCA.
Yeah,
I believe it's in there.
It's also addressed in the RFP. It's one of the things that we asked for them.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So
I
we
forgot
should
about
probably
that.
we should talk about the RFP and where that stands as well.
So the RFP is with town council, RFI actually.
Yep.
Is with town council. I had to, I didn't realize when Paul had sent us, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the document. When Paul had sent us his comments on it, he PDF'd it. So I had to copy and paste his comments out into the Word version. so that I can so I sent her collectively one that she could redline back to us.
Okay.
So, and I just highlighted it, and I told her in notes, he just listed these areas that were duplicate, and not that we were looking to remove,
Replace.
remove those areas from the application process. We felt that they, were still valid for the application process, and hopefully we can leverage those documents, or the planning board could leverage that as part of the process. So
Yes, maybe streamline theirs.
yeah. So that's where the application is. So the HCA, you guys want to take a quick look at the HCA?
Sure.
I believe, did I just send you the document, or did I send you her comments as well?
All I have is a document, and it's riddled with edits and comments in here.
Yeah, it's because it's like 3 different iterations. So, okay. So in her email, I didn't send you the email because she said, just please see attached red line for the comments. Let me know if you have questions. And then, we had the question specifically about expenditures of funds, and she sent me the link to the Department of Revenue. And that link is in the document as well. So let me open that up. We can just take a look. My hope is, I sent that out this morning, yes.
I only have 2 emails from you from this morning, which was Lucky Ladies and Marijuana Overlay Proposed Bylaw.
Marijuana overlay. You did you get the meeting?
No, that's why I had trouble.
Yeah,
You didn't get the one
IDC
that-
meeting materials at 8 a.m.
So
Yeah, you're on.
so
You
I
are on the list.
it's weird because I have 5:47 a.m. and 6:35 a.m. But I don't have an 8 a.m. email from you. It's trash, but
Would it have been blocked, Michael, because it has a bunch of attachments in it?
usually. Hold on one second.
Or you know what? Do this if you go out to the Norton calendar. It's posted out there.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
It's
say I can just
number
forward you this one too.
2.
Would you mind?
I think.
Yeah, hang on, I'm sending it right now. Let me know if you get it. I'm sorry, can we just jump back a bit? I feel like we started on Bellingham and then moved away.
We did, because we're going to have to look at 3 documents for Bellingham.
Okay,
So I thought, let's start with the HCA and we'll look for it there.
okay.
And then we'll go
All right.
into the application, and then we can look at the bylaw.
I just wanted to raise one point quickly.
Sure.
I think with respect to specifically odor mitigation, I think we're going to be able to learn a lot from, specifically with respect to cultivation and manufacturing. We're going to learn a lot from other towns' mistakes, and just because Bellingham has the latest and greatest right now doesn't necessarily mean by the time we get up and running, that's going to be the gold standard for odor mitigation, and somebody's going to, reinvent the wheel.
I think
And
what
we'll
she
also-
sent, though, was from 2018, isn't it? And then she said Franklin's also going through a process right now. I thought she gave a link to Franklin.
Yeah, I guess my point is I think we should be careful about adopting specifics with regards to odor mitigation, and we should leave it more open to the planning board.
Yes.
To be researching what the most up-to-date odor mitigation prevention measures are out there available, and requiring those.
I agree. That's why I just want to make sure that we have enough between the documents that allow them to do the due diligence or provide the direction that they need to in respect to odor mitigation.
Okay.
But I don't want to back them into a corner. I think, as everything, right? We want to give them enough so that they have a guide, but that they have enough autonomy to determine what's best.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to give them this as a gold standard and have it be obsolete in a year.
Oh, no, this is just for, the Bellingham's just for us to take a peek at.
Okay.
Okay, so I have the, what were we going to look at first? The HCA. I'm sorry, I pulled up the.
Are you going to share your screen, or do you want us to look at them? Okay.
Nope, I'm going to share my screen. I just have to find the right one. Hold on.
Michael, do you get my email?
I did. Thank you.
It's weird, Michael, that you didn't get it.
Yeah, it's funny. I got the ones from like 5 a.m. and which pretty much really is messed up because I either get emails at like 5 a.m. from you or like 2 a.m. So
2
they
a.m.
really not.
2:40.
It really means you're not sleeping.
The
When did I send the first
2:47
one?
a.m. ones are my favorite.
Those don't you? I'm like, please tell me she's got these on a timer. And like, really?
No.
Well,
She's
today I
psychopath.
started at 3 a.m., which is not like me. I usually stay up and go to bed at 3 a.m.
I'm like
So-
you, Renee. I work in the wee hours of the morning, but I've started to, for my work stuff, I've had to schedule the email to send later on because my boss is like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just getting work done.
I've been like trying to get to this stuff and it's constant. And you know, the tough thing is, and I thought it would be easier having like the meetings all in 1 week. So this week, right, had a meeting yesterday, have one today, have one tomorrow. And then just to prep for all of them, like even the annual town meeting stuff, I mean, like it was me like drafting an email for an hour and a half after the selectmen's meeting, right? And then that was time I was going to use for something else, and then it just gets pushed, right? So
Yeah.
I
I
think
feel your
this
pain.
is, yeah, I think that this is working against me, unfortunately. Um,
If I could
but
stop meeting about my work, I could actually get my work done.
yes, that is so true. Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to pull up. I had her email and I lost her email because I went to the materials.
I've actually just had to like lock myself in because I didn't realize how distracted I was getting. Because it's like I'll be like just get engaged in something, and then my kids are like, "Can I have lunch? Can I have this? Can we do this?"
Yep.
Love them.
It's crazy.
Don't
So
believe you.
I actually I'm gonna start working on like half days on Sunday so that I have Monday mornings off because with both of us working, Monday mornings is like a nightmare.
I bet.
Yeah, you've got little ones too. I do not envy you.
Yeah, it's certainly not easy. Now, where is this other file?
I found the little ones easier. They listened to me.
I haven't
not
asked
mine.
my kids I haven't asked my kids one single question except for is your homework done at all about any of their schoolwork.
Oh, I've actually now making my kids actually check in with their teachers. So like Nick on Monday does a conference call with his teachers. So
Well, that's nice. That's a good
and
idea.
Emma agreed to do one teacher a week. So I said okay.
Is it the same teacher every week?
No, it's a different teacher. It's a different teacher every week. Just because I said to her, I said, listen, this is going to be a pass fail thing. And if anything I know about pass fail, knowing that making an effort goes a long way.
Right. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
We can see it.
Yep. Okay. So this is the update that went from us to the selectmen, back to us, and then to town council. So it has a lot of information on here. Some basic, I think I'm gonna kind of accept changes as we go through, right? Like I don't think we need to have that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna accept the insertion.
I was just about to
That's
say,
much
who's
cleaner.
Trace? Then I realized you're on Trace's computer.
Yeah, so you know what? I finally changed that so it shows up as Renee.
Okay.
Because I said, yeah, so your name's like all over the town documents. She's like, can't you change that? I'm like, you know what? I can, but I've never actually thought about doing it.
Well, at least using like the nickname like Trace, like you could just think like, oh, it's like, to Trace.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Nobody
Try to make her
nobody
feel good,
necessarily
Laura.
knows that's a name.
Right. That's true. But except when I say from Renee, right? So it's interesting. So we put this comment in here about removing adult use to be consistent with a marijuana establishment, right? And then we had the question like, do we need to include the MTCs? And then she doesn't answer it there, but she answers it down here. Wait, that's not it. She says she used adult use here to distinguish from medical operations, but then she notes, where is it? Let me find her update. I know I read it. Here it is. HCA's are required for both medical and adult use marijuana establishments. Whether you include the language depends on the nature of the applicant. So now I'm wondering, should we,
But so if you take the adult
Should it be
use
specific?
out, isn't it just all encompassing? So it covers both of them?
well, it should cover all of it. That was my hope.
I
I mean,
mean.
we're going to enter into an HCA with any marijuana establishment.
So I guess my question, like, that's the question, right? Is why do you have to have adult use?
I'll use.
Yeah. So I don't think that we do. I think that she was just saying down, I think we'll have to look at it.
Because it's the same agreement no
she
matter which
used
one.
it
We're
to
not having different
distinguish.
agreements. Yeah. If you had a different agreement for that for medical versus adult use, then you'd want to distinguish them that way. But if we're using the same agreement for everything, I
Okay.
don't think you need the qualifier.
Okay, so I'm going to remove this, the getting rid of the adult use up top. What is this little thing here? I think that's just my comment. I'm going to delete the comment if you're good with me deleting it. We just keep it for the citing of a marijuana establishment in the town of Norton. So I'll delete that comment. I'll accept that change. What is this? Deletion. Okay, and then I just mentioned about the LLC because somebody typed in the XYZ dispensary. Remember, we got this actually from one of the applicants. They didn't change the company name. So this, I think, is an easy one. We'll accept and delete there. And we'll remove, I think we just remove limited liability and say a Massachusetts company. Yes?
Well, I mean, that's just going to be fluid because it may not even be registered in Massachusetts. It has to, actually, it has to be registered in
It
Massachusetts.
has to be,
Fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
Okay. So I'm going to delete the comments.
Denise, there's nothing, and I'm just referring to you because of legal things. The CCC isn't requiring limited liability to go for licenses only, right? It's not like incorporated or anything. There's no. I'm just saying.
I haven't looked into it, but I can check it out. That's what I'm aware of.
I would imagine they wouldn't. It doesn't matter, but limited liabilities have different funky taxation situations that
Yeah.
I was just asking the question. So
So do we want to keep this adult use in here and just list adult use / medical treatment or medical? And then have it modified as somebody fills it out?
and I think change the word adult use then.
Or just put a blank with XXX and use like a describer, right? Because it may be cultivation marijuana facility. It might be distribution marijuana facility, right? You could just put like
put brackets with type of facility.
Yeah, type of facility.
Yeah, I like the brackets. Did I capitalize in the other brackets?
Because if you leave it adult use, that people are just going to skip over that and it's going to remain in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll put in type of facility. Delete comment and I'll delete adult use. And before I do this,
How come it didn't highlight type of facility as a change?
Because I accepted it.
Okay.
I'm just cleaning it. This is going to be a clean version. Are you fine with that, or do you want me to go back and save it?
No, that's fine.
So this was from this, what's the date today? 29th?
It is. Did you see the new Microsoft Now's tracking changes, like up top? Version changes.
Is it on this version now?
I don't. I can't have
I think this version's probably too old. I mean, this came from
Yeah.
This came from Units, and I think we did it. Like I think the initial. Yeah, I think the initial document from KP Law is like from 2012 or something. Okay, so we have the host community agreements entered into this blank day of XX 20 whatever by in between. enter company name, a Massachusetts company with a principal office address of XXX, the company in the town of Norton, a Massachusetts municipal corporation with a principal address of 70 East Main Street. I just want to read this again as we go through. Whereas the company wishes to locate a licensed medical establishment. What is the XXX? Medical establishment for the purposes of engaging in XXX of type of facility, marijuana, the facility at such and such location, Norton, Massachusetts, in accordance with and pursuant to applicable state laws, regulations, including but not limited to general law, chapter 94G, and 935 CMR 500, and such approvals as may be issued by the town in accordance with its zoning bylaw and other applicable local regulations as may be amended.
So just to clean up kind of pet peeve of mine, I
Yes.
can fix it later, but everywhere that where there's XXX's, I think it's easier or better to just put in brackets what data you're looking to put in there. You know what I mean?
I think so too. Yeah.
Yes,
So
please.
date of.
Because right now I have no idea what these.
I don't
supposed
either. I'm
to
like,
be.
what is this? So let's figure that out because I'm like,
I mean, I don't have to spend the
think
whole
that
meeting doing it now. We can clean it up later, but some of these XXX's, I'm like, what is that for? And then where we just put type of facility, I didn't realize there was XXX's before it that are probably type of facility.
well, I know that's, so let's look at that specifically, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so whereas the company wishes to locate a licensed medical establishment for the purposes of engaging in retail or whatever.
What is the first X's for? Something.
I was going to take them out because it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for the purpose of engaging in. So type of, and so the first set of X's would be the type of activity. Is it distribution, cultivation, retail of, and then I think you can get rid of the second, that type of facility where it says type of facility, just marijuana.
Well,
Right, so
no,
this-
because before we had,
No,
that was the issue of the attorney had said, do we have
The adult use
adult
versus
use
medical.
versus medical? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Okay.
then it could also, somebody mentioned it could also be cultivation, manufacturing.
so do we put like type of business here?
Yeah. If you put type of business there, then where we have type of facility will really just be the option of adult use or medical. Because this will say engaging in cultivation of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it in two different places? Oh, because that's their office location. This is the facility location. Okay, whereas the town recognizes this facility will benefit the town and its citizens through increased economic development, additional employment opportunities for residents, and a strengthened local tax base, and whereas the company anticipates that the town will incur additional expenses and impacts on the town's road and other infrastructure systems, law enforcement, fire protection services, inspectional services, permitting and consulting services, and public health, as well as unforeseen impacts, both quantifiable and unquantifiable on the town. And these whereas statements drive me nuts. Whereas, that's not in there. The company intends to provide certain benefits to the town in the event that it receives the requisite licenses from the Cannabis Control Commission or such other state licensing or monitoring authority as the case may be to operate the facility, and receives all required local permits and approvals from the town. Whereas the parties intend by this agreement to satisfy the provisions of GL Chapter 94G, Section 3D, applicable to the operation of the facility, such activities to be only done in accordance with the applicable state and local laws and regulations in the town. Now, therefore, in consideration of the mutual promises and covenants set forth herein and other good and valuable consideration, the receipt and sufficiency of which are hereby acknowledged, the company and the town agrees as follows. Recitals. The parties agree that the above recitals are true and accurate and that they are incorporated herein and made a part hereof. Annual payments in the event that the company obtains a requisite license and or approvals as may be required for the operation of the facility and receives any and all necessary and required permits and licenses of the town, and at the expiration of any final appeal period related thereto, which permits and/or licenses allow the company to locate, occupy, and operate the facility in the town, and the company agrees to provide the following annual payments. Community impact fee. So we had a question on that. We said the community impact fee is always a priority. The other community benefit payments and charitable contributions are in addition to the community impact fee, not in place of. Do we want to keep that comment in there for review by the selectmen? Or no?
Well, I mean, I don't think you want to keep it in the copy that's going to go to the,
Like be posted?
yeah.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want it there.
I mean, I think it is good to have it in the one that's the selectmen
For
have
tomorrow.
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
refer to.
So what do you mean by the two versions of an HCA? Just explain that to me again.
Where are you at, Michael? You're jumping.
No, isn't that aren't we on that comments?
This comment, the first comment,
Oh, okay,
that
I'm
the
sorry.
impact fee is always a priority.
So it's really just kind of like notes for the board of
No, it's
selectmen.
just, it's like, make sure that's always our priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the company anticipates that the town will incur additional expenses and impacts on the town's road and other infrastructure systems, law enforcement, fire protection services, inspectional services, and permitting and consulting services, as well as unforeseen impacts, both quantifiable and unquantifiable, on the town. Accordingly, in order to mitigate the financial impact on the town and use of town resources, the company agrees to pay an annual community impact fee to the town in the amount and under the terms provided herein. Here's, I think, where we went. So the first one, this came from Mary specifically, explain how 3% annual community impact fees received by the town. What's the process? What's the town accountant have to consider? And this is where she put the, I believe this is the same thing that I had in the email, was the DOR guidance. So I can pull that up in a second. But her comment, just if you can't see it on the screen, that the community impact fee payments are made directly to the town. They'll go into the general fund and need appropriation by town meeting to be spent. Unless the town sets up a special purpose stabilization fund and dedicates some percentage of the funds received into that fund. So that'll have to, I'll actually keep that comment on, because the Board of Selectmen, if we want to put that in there, we may want to have additional language or discussion on that for tomorrow. Okay.
So you're not going to change language of the agreement to say all of that. That's just notes for you guys.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And because in that way, like, I think when we vote on this, we should vote, well, are we opening up a stabilization fund? Right. For the purpose of this, or does it go into the general fund?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll keep those two comments there. And then I'm going to have to provide this document to the selectmen tonight. Let me get rid of the format change. Oh my goodness gracious, format change. Okay, so this was where we put the two different ones, right? The appropriate language A or B to remain as item 1 based upon the type of establishment. So we have on the first one, company shall annually pay a community impact fee in the amount equal to 3% of gross sales for marijuana and marijuana product sales at the facility. The term gross sales shall mean the total of all retail sales transactions of the facility without limitation, and shall include but not be limited to all adult use marijuana and medical marijuana sales occurring at the facility, including the sale of marijuana, marijuana infused products, paraphernalia, and any other products sold by the facility directly to consumers or wholesale to other marijuana establishments. The second one accounts for the
So can I ask a question?
shoot.
And it's a stupid question, and it really does favor the business. There's no credits or anything done, right? Because normally that statement in like my business would be after gross sales after credits and adjustments.
No.
Renee, one last question. Who actually drafts these agreements up?
This is from KP Law.
No, I mean like when you actually go to put one in
Oh.
place with somebody.
So Mike would be the person that they would be talking to negotiate, and then the Board of Selectmen is the approver. So if we didn't agree with a term, then we would kick it back for further negotiation.
Like
And
who would be the one that's physically like typing in the information? And
the applicant.
The applicant would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this will be posted on our website so they could grab it if they wanted to complete one.
So to get rid of the notes and the margin, I would just put like in front of A for
Like this.
retail. Yeah. Well, so that tells you based on type of establishment, but then you don't know which one is which, right?
Okay, so let me put that up there so they can just strike this line. Appropriate language A or B to remain as item 1 based upon the type of establishment.
So A would be for retail and
Whereas-
medical.
So just do it under the appropriate language, A, in like retail, B, cultivation, right? Couldn't you do it in the brackets?
Yeah, or I would even do A, retail / medical, and then B, all other, or something like that.
Do you want me to put it in caps?
Probably. That's more of an instruction. So like that, I mean, that all caps area should all be removed once they actually draft it. It's just a
Right.
note. It's just a drafting note. Yeah.
I mean, and we can, if it comes to us, obviously, I would imagine like we can give them comments back, or
You can just highlight it and say like all caps, right?
can I?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Up.
I don't want that B to be all caps. Hold on.
So if you go up above,
Okay, show me.
you see the big A, then the slightly smaller big A,
Okay.
and then the big A little A. Go over to the big A little. Yep.
Yep.
Drop down. Drop down.
Look at that.
Okay.
This call is just proving it.
This
Value.
has, yes,
Right
it
there,
has.
that is,
Because-
something. Yeah, I was worried about if I was going to get value out of this call. That just sold.
Because I never ever write in caps.
I do all the time.
Okay, so I have to fix
I have
this.
had to do that, and I did not know that.
Describes your
button was
personality,
there.
Denise.
Is there a way I can extend this comment to capture that, or no?
I've not figured out.
Okay. Well, it's okay because that's coming out anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, we don't need this comment because it's from the Board of Selectmen. I can just take it out. It's the ones up here we needed.
Yeah, that one you can
And
get
the
rid
next
of,
one,
and then
yeah. Okay, why is it still there?
because it's
It's an insertion. It's an insertion. Oh, I hate when I can't like select.
Oh, that's because it's a bullet. Bullets are a pain in the ass.
I'll figure it out later. I'm gonna try to do it though right now. Why is this? Drive me nuts. Because you all are thinking the same thing. Click somewhere else. Like, is it clickable?
If you right click, you should be able to get to the.
No, there's nothing. That's all I'm doing is right clicking.
On the bullet? There
Yeah.
is no.
No, there is. It's underlined and it's purple. Which this is the first time I've seen purple.
Yeah, so I typically would highlight like starting from the row above, like you just did, and then go to review, accept. Up
So
above.
not right click it.
No, yeah, just up. Oh, yeah, there you go, accept.
Yes. Twice. My goodness gracious, this is the most value the entire week. Deserves a drink. Okay, so I'm going to keep this comment in here now. Okay, so that was the first one, right? The second one is company shall pay a community impact fee in an amount equal to 3% of the gross sale price of all marijuana and marijuana infused products cultivated or manufactured at the facility, the community impact fee. I don't know why that's way down there, but gross sale price shall be defined as A, with respect to sales of marijuana or marijuana products sold to third parties unrelated to the company, the actual wholesale price paid by such parties, and B, with respect to sales of marijuana and marijuana products at marijuana retailers owned, operated, or affiliated with the company, the highest unit prices for products wholesaled to third parties in an arm's length transaction during the previous 12 months, calculated separately with respect to Item, is that I or 1, flour, and 2, extracted products, as the case may be. I have absolutely no idea what that means. Having read it out loud, it made sense when I read it to myself.
So, and I don't want to be picky at poor Catherine here, but typically like when you define a term, you put it in all caps so that defined term has a meaning everywhere. Up above in the A, she did define the term gross sales, but it's in small caps there and like above and throughout the paragraph or whatever.
So this should
So
be.
I just don't know if those two terms, not the whole word, just the first letter of the word.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like she has down
Yep.
below. See how it says gross sale price and it's capital G, capital S,
Yes.
capital P? Yeah, same thing.
I gotcha. So I can't use that funky all caps, can I?
and then up above it too, Renee. See where it says 3% of, and it says gross sales.
Yep.
So then we can do it later, but you should do it like a word search for any time. I would just do a word search for gross because probably whatever follows it should be all caps because it's either gross sales or gross sale price. Either one of them should be the caps.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But do it later.
Oh, okay. I gotta delete this though. So I remember to get that out. Okay. Okay. So we good with this?
Mhm.
I'm gonna accept this change.
Denise, you do that just because it's defined?
Yeah, because that just says it's a defined term. So when you use gross sales later on in the HCA, it comes back to this meaning.
So Denise, let me ask you, I think this is an oversight. So this one starts off by saying companies shall annually pay a community impact fee. And this one says companies shall pay an annual community, but we struck out annual. So should it say companies shall pay annually a community impact fee, just like the above?
Who struck it? Can you tell? I'm not sure why. Yeah. So is the intent that they pay the 3%? It must be every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're
I mean,
selling.
actually down below, we're going to say quarterly, but it's an annual.
Maybe that's what. Maybe that's why she.
No, I don't know that she did it. How do I know? I think I may have done it because it's in purple and she seems to be green.
I don't know. I mean, it should be consistent, whatever it
Okay.
is. But if it's intended to be paid annually, then yeah, I would put it in there. Maybe she struck it because it was a capital annually, like it should be a defined term.
No, I think I struck it because it was purple.
Oh, okay.
It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Is it accept deletion?
Oh, it's not giving you accept. Go over to, didn't give you just accept on there as a choice.
No, well, I already hit it.
You should be able to just right click from there without having to go to.
I think so too, but it's not doing it. Okay, I'll deal with it later.
That's so weird.
And then I'll go back to it in about 3 minutes because it's going to bother me.
OCD.
Okay, so our question was, what about distribution or other types of establishment? Does it need to be called out separately? I put the comment from, I think this was our discussion, right? I don't necessarily think 3% is appropriate for distribution, but perhaps a different percentage. But I think we agreed we'd keep it at 3%, and that's a negotiation item.
Right.
Okay.
So where you say of all marijuana and marijuana infused products cultivated and manufactured at the facility, that needs to be broadened to be whatever it is that they're doing.
What do you mean? Like distributed?
Yeah. Distributed out of the facility or something like that, because it might be other businesses.
Cultivated, manufactured, or distributed? What else are we missing?
But it won't be distributed at the facility, right? Distributed from the facility.
You want control?
No.
How about that? Infused products cultivated or manufactured at or distributed from the facility.
Sounds good.
Oh, I should keep that because that's a change. Okay. Is there anything else that we're missing on facilities?
Are there any types of businesses that we are not thinking of? I mean, those are the ones that we know of, but I don't know if there's, I don't know.
The only other thing I can think of that may actually come up in the future is social consumption, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Well, we don't account for it now, so I don't see us putting anything in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Onward. Annual is, that's supposed to say, is not in the title of this section, doesn't need to be here. Ah, that must be why we struck it. We said annual payments, but then we called it a community impact fee.
well, you could just lowercase annual. Oh, it
Yeah,
says
well-
annually. No, below it goes on to say
Right.
community will be made annually, so you're fine.
Well, then the comment was, can we strike annually? I think it's in the best interest of the town to receive payment quarterly, and I'm confused as to what the next section is saying. Is this some sort of legal jargon that references annual and quarterly just to confuse me? That must have been my own comment. And she said, yes, you can request semi-annual or quarterly payments. So I think it's, we strike annual community impact fee shall be made quarterly on or by the 20 days following the end of each calendar quarter. So it was in there. Yes, so
Quarterly.
I was right. Is it just meant to confuse me?
I would
Right.
just leave it. The community impact fee shall be made quarterly.
Yep. Keep the first strikeout. That should be, yeah.
Oh, come on, you bugger. Okay, on or by 20 days following the end of each calendar quarter of operation commencing on the first day. Okay. Does it make sense to say, you know, it's still an annual payment? Well, it's not an annual payment. Should you say payments? Oh, here's the annual again.
Well, and it's up in that, the first paragraph should provide the following annual payments.
So I guess it's, I think it must be right because they had it there, but yet they had quarterly down here and she says it's fine.
Yeah, under number 2, where the community impact fee, instead of saying shall be made quarterly, shall be payable quarterly.
Why do we have this here? So this is specifically, it's saying adult use or medical marijuana.
This is meant to be all encompassing, I'm assuming,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Where
we
do we
strike
get,
this
where do we
and
get
it
the 20
reads,
days?
it was in there. I mean, I would imagine, you know, you're giving them a couple weeks to figure out what their quarterly sales were, generate a check and make it to us.
We're lucky if we close our month, our quarterly month with 20 days after the fact.
Well, I guess then you wouldn't be signing this agreement, would you?
Yeah. I think my office is like 45 days.
Well, I mean, if, you know,
20
I
days,
think it,
20
They
days
can,
is way
they can
too
negotiate it.
aggressive.
They'll do it based on their
Yeah.
system, right?
I was going to say, literally the last day of the month, you know what your sales are for the month. It's not a
Yeah.
complicated calculation.
Yeah, but that's you don't pay off of what you pay off of what you close.
okay, anyway, Denise, so if I strike the part that's highlighted, so it reads full calendar month after the commencement of sales for any part of the facility and continuing for a period of 5 years.
Yep.
Okay, the facility shall be deemed to have commenced operation upon receipt of both an occupancy permit from the building commissioner and the issuance of a final certificate of registration and/or final license from the CCC. Commencement of operations. At least 90 days prior to the conclusion of each of their respective 5-year terms, the parties shall meet to negotiate in good faith the terms of a new community impact fee as an amendment to this agreement. Provided, however, that if the parties are unable to reach an agreement on a successor community impact fee, the community impact fee specified in paragraph 2.a.1 of this agreement shall remain in effect and shall not be reduced below the amount set forth above until such time as the parties negotiate a successor community impact fee. My goodness.
So this annual thing is an issue. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure that we need it.
No, we're just gonna delete it. Hey,
Yeah.
that time it showed me. It was me.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't have any comments against it.
But then you might want to strike it in the heading of that section and just call it payments. Right?
Here?
Up, yeah, number 2. Yep. And then down here, just before the, whoop, go back up again. Right there, annual payments. Up above community impact fee.
Should I keep the strikes in there or out?
I'd keep, I mean, I'm assuming you send this back to council again.
I don't think that, not unless there's a significant change.
Okay.
I mean, we can send a final, this is the clean, so. I think it's just to be consistent.
Yeah, I don't know who your audience is, who you want to show the changes to, right? Is it the Board of Selectmen?
Yeah, that's why I don't know if it's material to show the changes. I can, hold on. I mean, we already struck it from the other areas.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that this isn't. I mean, here it says again, companies shall annually pay.
Yeah, you have the same thing above.
Right.
I mean, that's okay because those are going to be paid once a year, right? But then you also have a quarterly payment below it. That's why I was saying get rid of the annual up above where it talked about payments, because it's really just different types of payments.
Well, what do you mean? It's all the community impact fee.
Oh, this is saying how the frequency of it down below.
Right. But I think this is okay because it's saying you have this annual payment, right? But you're gonna pay it
Pay it quarterly. Yeah, that's fine.
I just don't know why in some places they've called it an annual community impact fee and some places they haven't.
I don't think
Okay.
I don't think it's necessary. It's kind of just what do you want to call it?
Right. Okay, so I'll go through and just do a search on annual, and aside from, if I find it in other places aside from that first, these two shall annually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where were we?
Probably on
3.
number 3 now. Yep.
The town shall use the above referenced payments in its sole discretion, but shall make a good faith effort to allocate said payments to offset costs related to road and other infrastructure systems, law enforcement, fire protection services, inspectional services, public health and addiction services, and permitting and consulting services, as well as unforeseen impacts upon the town. Okay, pursuant to MGL Chapter 94G, Section 3D, community impact fee shall be reasonably related to the costs imposed upon the municipality by the operation of the marijuana establishment. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the parties hereby acknowledge the difficulty in computing actual town costs and agree that impacts may result in municipal budgetary increases that cannot be separately identified or precisely quantified. Consequently, the company agrees that the payments due under this agreement are reasonably related to town costs and waives any claims to the contrary. And this text looks like it changed colors. Here we go. Here's annual community benefit payments. Some applicants will willingly pay a benefit payment and others will resist such a requirement and claim the statute does not authorize such payments. Whether it includes such a payment should be a matter of negotiation between the town and applicant. So I think that note just stays for the selectmen's review. In addition to the community impact fee, the company shall additionally pay an annual community benefit payment in accordance with the following. For as long as the facility is in operation, the company shall pay to the town the sum of blank dollars annually for purposes of funding substance abuse and mental health services in the town, including but not limited to school substance abuse and counseling services. The annual community benefit payment shall be paid annually within 30 days following the end of each 12 months of operation, commencing on the first day of the first full calendar month after the commencement of operations for any part of the facility used for either adult use or medical marijuana retail operations. Do we want to strike that, Denise?
Yep.
I missed this S.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of annuals in there, but you're gonna scrub the annuals later anyway.
Yeah, well, this one's saying that we are paying it annually. Do we want to
So-
keep that
Then why did you strike it above?
right here? Because
Yeah.
it's talking about the community impact fee. So this
Yeah.
is the annual community benefit, and this one's actually saying it's going to be the end of each 12 months of operation.
Right. So the word annually that comes after like paid annually, that's the
Mhm.
important one. The capital annual is just like the title that you're giving it. You can have it in or out. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So do we want to
Uh,
take it out of the community benefit payments?
I'm ambivalent to either way, but if you're gonna keep it in, you have to put that purple crossed out one back in.
This one for the community impact fee?
I would
But we
leave it in just so that
Oh, sorry, that's community impact
Yeah,
fee. Sorry.
we took it out of community impact fee. I think we should leave it in here.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
agree. All right. And I know as she makes reference to will be willingly pay a benefit and others will resist it. Should we amend the wording to something along the lines of the company may additionally wish to pay an annual community benefit fee as opposed to,
Well, that note is just for us, not going to go to them, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be on the final version.
right, but okay. I'm just thinking,
Go ahead.
I'm just thinking the way it's written, it does not look like it's optional, but I guess the entire agreement is up for negotiation. So if
Right.
they wish to strike it, they can strike it.
And if we wish to not accept it, then so be. If we want to, have it in there.
Yep.
Okay, so the parties hereby recognize and agree that the annual community benefit payment to be paid by the company shall not be deemed an impact fee subject to the requirements or limitations set forth in General Ledger, Chapter 94G, Section 3D. Additional cost payments and reimbursements. Go ahead, Denise.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, I thought you took a breath to say something.
Nope.
Permit and connection fees. The company hereby acknowledges and accepts and waives all rights to challenge, contest, or appeal the town's usual building permit fee and other permit application fees, sewer and water connection fees, and all other local charges and fees generally applicable to other commercial developments in the town. That's weird. Facility consulting fees and costs in addition to the community impact fee. The company shall reimburse the town for any and all reasonable consulting costs and fees related to any land use applications concerning the facility, negotiation of this and any other related agreements, and any review concerning the facility, including planning, engineering, legal, and/or environmental professional consultants, and any related reasonable disbursements at standard rates charged by the above referenced consultants in relation to the facility. Other costs, the company shall reimburse the town for the actual costs incurred by the town in connection with holding public meetings and forums substantially devoted to discussing the facility and/or reviewing the facility, and for any and all reasonable consulting costs and fees related to the monitoring and enforcement of the terms of this agreement, including but not limited to independent financial auditors and legal fees. Police officer training, the company shall reimburse the town for the actual costs incurred for a local police officer to complete advanced roadside impairment driving enforcement training program and for certification and recertification of a drug recognition expert. So this was added in after discussion with the police chief. So actually I can take that out now because that was already reviewed. Why is it blue?
It's pretty.
Right. Okay. Late payment penalty. The company acknowledges that that time is of the essence with respect to their timely payment of all funds required under Section 2 of this agreement. In the event that any such payments are not fully made with 10 days of, I should not say within 10 days, right? Within 10 days of the date they are due, the town shall provide the company with written notice of such failure to make a timely payment. The company shall have a 10-day period to cure such failure to make timely payment from the date of receipt of such notice. If the company fails to make full payment within such cure period, the company shall be required to pay the town a late payment penalty equal to 5% of such required payments. Okay. So this is the same comment, right? It's a point for negotiation, annual charitable nonprofit contributions. The company, in addition to any funds specified herein, shall annually contribute to the town's. Okay, so we had a question here about, do we have a scholarship committee? Can we make this more general pertaining to any nonprofit? So how do we want to word it? She said, type of payment can be made to any nonprofit or charitable organization, and the HCA can provide that it either be at the designation of the boss or the applicant. I think it should be the applicant. Right? Because I think different people will have different perspectives on what they want to support. What do you think?
I think we should probably specify that it has to be a not-for-profit.
Yes, yeah.
You don't think it should be up to the town to decide that?
I mean, I feel like, so if I put myself in the place of an owner, right, and for whatever reason, history, experience, or maybe what you see in the, like from other establishments that you might have, like you might see some specific impact or care specifically about, you know, providing it to schools or maybe providing the money to the rehab center or, you know, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's part of the partnership. And I feel like it should be something that they support, not something that the selectmen designate. I mean, that's my thought.
What about just going to General Norton Cares? Then it goes to where it's most needed.
Should we make it just to the discretionary of an individual who does trivia every week?
What is the General Norton Cares though?
Yeah. Made you laugh, Laura.
Right, like who controls that fund?
Hang on. I just looked at it because I was going to make a donation to it. Give me a second. Let me pull it up.
I don't want to specify the nonprofit.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
It's not a. Hang on. Now I got to find it. It's not like it makes a reference to. Damn it, now where was it? It was on the homepage. You never find it when you're looking for it. Although there is a ton of new stuff out here.
Renee, can you specify Norton nonprofit?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I would say just put Norton nonprofit, and you can almost even compile a list so they don't have to try to figure it out.
Should I do Norton nonprofit or within Norton?
Maybe within Norton. But then
Because if I think of like need, right, that's not a Norton, it's within Norton, but it's not the town of Norton. I'm just thinking of various organizations.
Need is not on just Norton? I thought they were.
No, need is just Norton, but it's not like a town. It's not a municipal, like Norton Cares is, I think, a municipal, you know, like Cover to Kindness is municipal.
Municipal, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah,
you can probably provide them a list of all the different area nonprofits, right?
I don't know. Can we? Who can put that together? Heaney?
Who?
Heaney? Dave?
You might know a lot of them now.
Right. I know. That's why I'm saying it.
I think you'd be overwhelmed if you try to put a list of nonprofits.
All right. Norton Cares Fund provides assistance to residents that are experiencing temporary financial hardship.
Yeah, I think that's too specific. I think we should say any nonprofit and they can,
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's
I mean,
probably
we
easy.
can put it in brackets, right? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Caps, Denise?
All caps. Yep. I'll cap it, baby.
Doing it. Laura, are you okay with that?
I'm fine.
Oops, I'll take out that. Okay, so I'll keep in the change and I'll keep in the comments, since that's a bigger change. No, I gotta change this part. Can I just put nonprofit contribution? Will that cover us?
I would just say that the
Or the
annual
annual
contribution.
contribution?
Yeah, I wouldn't even need to specify it. Although it does say will be made annually, so we're getting redundant again.
So then let me
Annual
throw this in and it won't sound so redundant.
Well, it's either the annual contribution or the contribution will be made annually, shall be made annually. That's the redundant part, is what I'm getting at.
No, I know. But is it less redundant if I throw in nonprofit in there? Or is it still as redundant?
It's still redundant.
That was almost a snort.
It was a snort. It was a little snortle.
You just totally snarflacked.
My sister and I refer to those as snortles.
I'm a snarflack guy. I was like, oh my God. It took me a second to register.
Okay, so next one, annual reporting for host community impact fees and benefit payments. The company shall submit annual financial statements to the town within 30 days after the payment of its community impact fee. Ooh,
Yeah,
do you want them to do that every quarter? No.
No, and 30 days after quarter end is going to be tough for financial statements for some small companies.
After. Well, we didn't say, does this one say quarterly from when they start? Like every 3 months from when they start, not the actual quarter?
It said the first month after the start of their operation, I want to say. The first full month.
First full calendar month, yep.
I don't see an issue with having payment due within 20 days. They can renegotiate that, but having to
Yeah, this
submit
is too much.
annual financial statements within 30 days of, well, and it says annual financial statements, so they're only going to provide annual financial statements once, and you've got to give them probably 90 days to come up with those.
Yeah, so we noted that. So we have to do, somehow we have to say, to language you, do we want it based on calendar year after 12 months of them? After the end of each 12 months of operation? I think we want to stick with this.
Well, that's when it will be paid, but there is also reference to them having to provide annual financial statements.
Right,
and
I know.
when those are due.
And I'm saying, do we want to use that same language? The company shall submit annual financial statements to the town.
I think
So
the
if
language is fine. It's the time frame in which they need to do it is the issue. 30 days is not sufficient for an annual financial statement. for a company.
Well, I gotta tell you, we got the HCA and they didn't change this part.
This
Who-
is
who
the
did-
HCA.
Annual report can't be done in 30 days.
Solar Therapeutics gave an HCA to us.
I understand that, but
If they are providing in 30 days, it's a lie.
the HCA is not their financial statements.
No, I understand that the HCA, but it's defined saying that within 30 days.
Yeah, it's possible they just glazed over the actual time frame in which they need to provide that. But
Okay, so
30
if we want to
days
give
is
them more
very
time,
aggressive.
so
Yeah.
what's the time frame? 60 days?
90 days is generally, you
Quarter?
generally will receive, yeah. I mean, think about when
In 90
companies
days,
are,
they have to.
I think that they're already filing this with the CCC
what's the CCC requirements? Make it that.
within that time.
I don't know. Annual statements 30 days after year end that's really tight. What does the CCC require?
Hold on.
And think about when companies are posting their earnings reports. Those are generally in March. I mean, granted, they're larger companies publicly traded, but still, you won't even have adjustments, credits, clawbacks. There's all sorts of things that are going to happen within 30 days of year end that are going to adjust your numbers.
We wouldn't even be done with our audit.
No. If you can even get an auditing firm to,
Do it in that
Look at-
quickly.
yeah. Yeah, if they're preparing their own in QuickBooks, that's one thing, but still, 30 days after year end, you're probably still making adjustments to prior month and year.
Right, you close the month on the 20th, you close the month on the 20th of the previous month, and then that's, you can close the year.
It's aggressive.
While you guys are talking about the financial statements, I was trying to look for if Massachusetts had a listing of nonprofits by town, and they don't. I'm shocked. You can look up nonprofits, but you have to like know their EIN number or their name. You can't just look up all of them in Norton.
Are they registered in a specific city?
Yeah, they're registered in a specific city, but usually you have to pay for that report. You can buy that report, but it's not,
No.
State doesn't have it.
It's not publicly available.
No, not typically not.
I checked the Mass Secretary of State page, not there. I was just curious.
I'm reading. Another record keeping. And it's referencing like another section. See, I think because of the tracking of the marijuana itself, I think that this stuff is available much faster than in normal or other industries.
I still think there are going to be credits, offsets, returns, adjustments that are going to affect your prior year numbers that you may not have done within 30 days of your year end closing. I could be wrong. You know, especially with a small company, they're probably just only using something, you know, like a QuickBooks, but
The QuickBooks for like a potential $8 million
Yeah, they
revenue.
they could be doing cash accounting, not even.
Well, it's all cash. Remember, this is only cash.
I mean, you can put in like a
That's
60
not what I
day.
meant. It's not that's. Yeah.
Oh,
You can like maybe put 60 days in there and then let them tell you otherwise.
60 days is more reasonable.
see the texting. I just searched the word financial, so I have 3 more things. There's nothing on here that says it. So you guys want to, what did you want to change it to?
I would just go with 60 and Michael, would you agree?
I agree. I think
So we
that,
have to change this though, because it's not after the payment of its community impact fee.
Yeah, no, that's not correct. I would just say after its fiscal year end.
After or following the end of each 12 months of operation.
Sure.
That's what we
Oh.
had above.
Yeah, but that's when they make their payments and they may not have a calendar year end. So to make them do an annual financial statement on an off
Well,
count.
that's how, but that's what's audited, right? That's how the payments are. And so it's audited against that cycle.
Well, payment has nothing to do with your annual
Fiscal
financial
year.
statements.
Well, the payment does, because the payment is a percentage of your annual
But-
revenue.
You can make a payment at any point. A company is only going to issue an annual financial statement once per year, and that is at their fiscal year end. Does not matter when payments of a community impact fee are made. Has
Right.
no
They're
impact
gonna
on the
estimate.
annual financial statements.
right. What they're going to do is accrue that. Like, that's what I was talking about, cash for this. You only count that on the accounting books until it's paid,
So-
or you accrue it.
So here's where it goes again. It is required by the CCC and the Department of Revenue. So I don't know
but
that
what's
we
the
should
time
change
frame that they
anything.
require?
Well,
What's the
that's,
time?
I couldn't find that on there because it was referencing other requirements. So unless somebody wants to search for it right now.
Yeah, but you don't want to make the town, you don't want to put the burden, you don't want the town to burden the company by having to produce a separate annual financial statement just for them that does not align with their annual,
I agree
with their fiscal
100%.
year.
So either we need to then we just need to figure out this language in the first sentence.
Within 60 days of their fiscal
What
year
is
end.
this? I don't know, Laura. I don't know if that's right because all of the payments, I know you're smiling, but all of the payments are based on their time. I hear what you're saying.
It doesn't,
It's
it doesn't
based on-
matter.
It's based on the operation.
Yeah, but
It does
do
matter
not
because
matter.
we have to go back to make sure that we're getting the right payments, right? So if you split it by fiscal year versus 12 months of operation, then how do we adjust that?
what they do is they do a partial payment the first year at the end of the first fiscal year. Then
That is not what this says. This says 3 months after being in operation, 12 months after being in operation. That's what it says.
But again, this is financial statements. This has nothing to do with payments. All we want is their financial statement.
Then why
After
is
their
it
fiscal
attached
year
to
end.
after the payment of the annual community impact fee with the certification of its annual sales? It is attached to that payment. It is absolutely attached to that payment.
you can't do a fiscal. It won't.
They're
And
not saying fiscal here. They are not saying fiscal. They are saying after the payment of the annual fee, which we have said we want paid on a quarterly basis with the certification of the annual sales. This
Okay,
is not
well,
fiscal.
then they're going to give you annual financial statements with their fiscal year end that are not going to align with the certification of its annual sales. And the town's going to have to do the reconciliation.
I don't think so because I think it's a requirement of the Department of Revenue and the CCC for their licensing.
I was going to ask you, so what is it we're trying to accomplish here? Do we just need an annual financial statement?
Denise,
Yes.
I can't hear you.
We can did you take your headset off?
So what I was trying to say was, what is it we're trying to accomplish with this section? Is it just that we want an annual financial statement so we can kind of, firm up and make sure that what we've gotten over the quarters matches up? Or are we doing something else with the information? So that will kind of dictate what the wording should be, right?
It's to make sure that the sales line up, right? That the percentage that we're getting is right. And so if you look at this, it's talking about the regulations from the guidelines of the CCC. So there's something, I didn't see it in what I just searched, right? I mean, I'm fine we can even say after the fourth quarterly payment of its community impact fee. We can put that in there, but
Right,
I don't.
but you're asking for their annual financial statement. So maybe that's what I have an issue with, is asking for an annual financial statement
It's
within
gonna
a
be tied to
time
fiscal year.
frame. Yeah,
Right, but you're putting, so let's go back to how annual is used here. You're putting it in respect to a calendar or fiscal calendar. Everywhere else, it's based on the length of time that they're in operation.
I understand that, but when you're asking for an annual financial statement, that has a very distinct.
So then we can take out annual and just say shall submit financial statements. I mean, I imagine that this is directly coming from something, like they didn't just write it, but it is attached to that payment.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta look at how the CCC has it written. I would imagine that even for your quarterly payments, you'd want them to line up with the fiscal calendar. But if they start halfway through a month or a quarter or whatever, they would just.
But that's not how it's written, is what I'm saying.
I
That's not
know,
how
but
it's
what
written
I'm saying
above.
is which is I don't know. Which is the right
Ridiculous.
way to do it. I don't know enough about. I'm not a financial person, so there's 3 or 4 of you financial people on here. I'll let you guys figure it out.
I think it should
I
just
wanna know
align
this
with
just
whatever's
says
required
here.
by the CCC.
And I imagine that's probably what she wrote.
So
So
who
I mean,
has that?
I can go back and ask her. The thing is we changed the payment from annual to quarterly. Right? That's the issue. So we can put on here, I mean, we can write in after the 4th payment of its community impact fee.
So is what you really want though? Is you don't want an annual report? You want a quarterly report?
We want the report that aligns to the 3% impact fee.
That's getting paid quarterly. So do you want it them to report to you on a quarterly basis? What I'm asking you.
No, I think that's too much, don't you?
That's what I'm trying to figure out how these two things are tying together. How they're supposed to be tying together.
Yeah, and it makes reference to certification of its annual sales. I would imagine that is also going to align with whatever their fiscal year end is as well.
Well, so there were items in the thing that I just looked up that talked about the audit that's required, that they, and that audit is, I think it says in here too, it's required to be provided to the town. I mean, we can table this and we can look online and see what it says, and I can shoot Katie a note to say what's the best way to list this.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not seeing anything. I get the whole fiscal year, but that is not how the rest of this is listed. It's all about time of operation, which I agree, it sounds silly, right? But that's how it's listed. I mean, even that last one it's attached to the last payment.
Certification of annual sales.
Like annual, again, the annual that's here is it's a 12-month rolling cycle. It's not a fiscal calendar. Right? Like they're referring to annual as 12 months. Not start date to end date. So I'll ask her, we'll just do a follow-up. I'll follow up with Katie. Okay. But we'll keep it at 60 days regardless of whatever it is. And I'll remove the annual because we didn't name it annual community impact fee. Did we read this we read this whole thing, right? The CCC Department of Revenue? Yes. So are we good with that? A follow-up with her?
Yep.
So is this the last paragraph? Oh my God, we're like not even halfway through. What do we got here? Do we need to, we don't need to read any of the items that aren't marked, right? Are you guys fine with that, or do you want to go through it just to be sure? No?
Don't need the what? What's the
We
question?
don't, the question is, do we need to read through any of these items that we didn't adjust?
No.
Okay. So let's just go through. Let me, we're gonna do that. Hold on. Okay, so I don't think she answered this question. So the note here is police chief initially inserted language about signage. Is there a reason this was removed? Was it also due to the MGL or CCC regulating this? And she didn't respond. Do we have this in the bylaw
What is it?
about the licensee will post police department approved signage conspicuously displayed in the vicinity of sales transactions?
I know there's some language around signage. I don't know if it's specific to police approved conspicuously around.
Okay. I'll follow up with her on why that was removed because she didn't answer.
I think the signage language that I'm thinking of in the bylaws has more to do with the actual business signage.
Okay. Well, this might be something that we need to get into the bylaw then. I'll ask her. I'll follow up.
Is it something that's already required under the CCC?
I don't know. That's what we asked. Was also due to the MGL or CCC regulating it, and she didn't respond.
So, oh, you wrote this.
I wrote this. Yeah, that was our question from one of our meetings.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this one was, Katie wrote, the type and nature of third-party monitoring is governed by the CCC regulations. Applicants will already be required to meet those specifications. We said, should this entire section be removed or just the first sentence? She said, you can keep the language in if you want. I was pointing out that's not necessary as a requirement of this agreement because the CCC already requires it. If you want to remove part of this, the first sentence would be sufficient. So we can
So
remove
did the
all
police,
or?
did the police department ask to add it in? Is that where that came from?
Yes.
Okay.
So she highlighted only the first sentence. And then we asked, should the entire section of the first sentence should be removed? She said we could keep it, but it's not necessary. So you want to just remove the first part?
It doesn't matter to me. You can keep it. If it makes the police chief comfortable, right?
Yeah, I mean, but you know, we were trying not to be duplicative if we didn't have to.
I gotcha.
So I can't, you want to keep it in?
I'm ambivalent. I don't care.
Anyone else?
If it's already required, I don't see the point of being redundant. We don't need more words.
Okay, so I'll take that out. Okay. Traffic management. So this was a section, so she removed it. We talked about this, that while we don't think it's going to be an issue, we think it's important to keep it in for the HCA for the town because it's come up as a issue multiple times. Are we fine with that?
Shall on its own. So what did she say? She didn't think it was necessary because
She took it out. But we added it back in February because traffic management kept coming up. And so to
so what
ensure
were her
we
reasons
addressed it,
for what were her reasons for removing it? I guess is my question.
I don't think she gave reasons. I think she was just cleaning it up. I mean, the issue, you know, traffic came up multiple times. I think that was why we decided way back when to keep it in, to not accept
Okay.
her change.
Okay.
I don't remember, is it addressed anywhere else? Is it addressed in the bylaw?
Would be in
They have to
the-
provide a traffic study as part of the bylaw.
Not traffic management, right?
Can't the planning board require it as a condition of the special permit?
Yeah,
Did we ask them to?
a traffic study. Yes.
Oh
it
yeah,
should
the
be in-
traffic study. But this is management saying that they need to do something, they need to pay for it. Right, so they open up and now we have, kind of going back to your queuing, right? If they're in a spot where now we have all kind of traffic outside a particular area and we need to have a police detail there. I think we should leave it in. I don't think
Okay.
it's going to be an issue, but I think we go with what we talked about in February.
Okay.
Okay. So she just confirmed here that the language that she recommended, the language should be removed. We asked that the limitations on use, just to make sure that she did want to remove it, and she said yes. She recommended that the language be removed.
Okay.
Oh, what is this? Da, 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 da. So here's the odor control.
That was a long road to get here.
It was. Well, it's a lot of text in the document.
Isn't that what started the conversation?
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, this was on for us to review so that we can send it to the board to approve, hopefully tomorrow. I mean, it's like we've been doing this since September. The fact that it's been 6 months on this one document is
Crazy.
insane. Yes.
So this is the woman that sent the Bellingham thing. That's what we're trying to get at, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the reopener review, she says that these provisions are becoming less common in HEAs due to the unique community impacts and need to directly relate the community impact fee to the actual community impacts. And then we asked, is your recommendation to remove it? And she says, yes, I don't think it's necessary. That was section 12. This is saying it must have been section 12. Oh yeah, it was because we added in that one section. So do we want to remove the reopener and review? This is just saying if they enter into another agreement that we want to see it. I don't think it's pertinent to our HCA.
No, in a lot of the ones that I read from other towns, it basically had a stipulation. Can you scroll down? I want to see if that stipulation is here, that it basically states that if they agree to a higher percentage with another town, then we get that higher percentage as well. Yeah, exactly. Look at that last clause.
Yeah. Well, they can't. 3% is that's the highest you can go.
Right, but the reopener is if the law changes. And let's say the CCC or the state determines that 4% is now an acceptable rate. If they renegotiate with another town at 4%, then we have to get 4%. That's what this clause is doing.
Or if they
And
negotiated
this-
something less than 3 with us, right?
Right.
So 3% is what we're saying, but
At the time when I think the CCC was first established, I think the CIP was actually 2%. And some towns felt they got screwed when it got increased to 3. And that's why this was used.
So I think she makes a valid, I'm fine leaving it in, but just remember, like, the community impact, any money that we get from the community impact fee has to be tracked as a community impact fee.
Understood, but what this is specifically saying is that if the company with whom we have an HCA enters into an HCA with another town that gets a better benefit to the town than what we have, we automatically get what they negotiated with that other town.
Right, and I'm just saying it could be, the percentage could be higher than what we actually have for expenses. So I'm not against it, we can leave it in, but it potentially could just be money sitting there.
I think we take guidance from the town council and just remove it outright. It's a clause from a few years back where some towns got screwed because the community impact fee used to be smaller.
Okay, so we remove it.
I think so, but open for discussion.
I thought we were removing it too, but I thought you were leaning against keeping it.
No.
Anyone else? Delete, not delete?
There was also some question as to whether that clause was legal. Some companies were challenging it.
Delete it is. So I'll keep that in there just since it's a deletion of the entire section. Okay. I think we already did this. Said wanted to note, remove it, wanted to note agreement for boss, that the agreement, this part's getting out of there. Okay.
Yep.
I can't tell how far it was though. Is it this
all the way
whole-
down. It's
right to here?
those. Yep.
Done. The boss has seen it. Done. That looks like it's it.
Woohoo. Good, my ears are killing me. I've been wearing this thing too long.
So
Okay.
the one thing to watch out for, Renee, and I don't know if we refer to these as clauses or paragraphs or sections or whatever, but make sure that we don't reference any section numbers throughout because we've changed the numbering system. Or if we do, just make sure you check that the number, what it's referring to still makes sense.
Yeah. I don't remember us doing that, but I'll look through it.
I didn't see anything as you were scrolling through, but I wasn't, usually I do like a word search just to make sure I'm not missing something.
Do you want me to send it to you so you can do your
No.
Q&A on it? No?
No,
Fine.
because I probably won't be able to get to it for a little while. I'm backed up at work.
Okay.
I just don't want to hold you up.
That's fine. I mean, again, like I just want to get it in front of the board, like the final time and say, this is it, right? We got
Yep.
comments back from council and be done. I mean, I brought this to them like 3 times, and I won't be surprised tomorrow if somebody says, well, can we do this the next meeting? So. Okay. So I'll go through, I think my only note is to go through for the annual to make sure it doesn't say annual community impact, right? I'll put my note up here. And then I need to call Katie on the financial statements.
Excuse me.
Was there anything else that you guys remember?
Searching for the gross, whatever it was, make sure it's got first letter capped.
Got it?
Mhm.
Okay. So let me save this. Do we want to look at the Bellingham document or we want to come back to that? I think the HCA covers it. I think we can come back if we want to.
I think we give it to the planning board and say, here, this was suggested.
Well, no, I don't want to give them a document from 2018. I'd rather, I don't mind reaching out to that town planner too, just to I can get him on the line with Paul, right, and just have a discussion on what they ran into. And it seems like he knew what was going on with Franklin too. So, okay. Anything else? So I just need to know, are you guys planning on attending the public hearing?
How
I'll
is
have
the
to post
public
an
hearing
agenda.
being held?
Zoom.
And that's on the 5th. I mean, that's
It is. Cinco de Mayo.
Have we posted that on the IDC's?
No, I don't have Zoom information. We can put if somebody wants to put a note out there about the public hearing on the 5th.
I think we're just going to get slammed if we don't I think we should be putting it on Norton alerts. I think we should be putting it everywhere we possibly
I don't
can.
want to put it, I mean, we could put it out there with a link back to the town calendar because they're supposed to refer to the agenda for the meeting details, or we can wait to get the Zoom information and then put it out.
I was gonna say, do we have the agenda? Is it posted? And then we just post the agenda to those pages.
The public hearing let me see what it looks like.
Was it in the Sun Chronicle? Did that happen? Did somebody verify?
Yep, all that happened. Town council had to give specific language for that based on the COVID-19.
And you verified it was printed?
I didn't get the Sun Chronicle, nor did I search it, so no.
Can you share that, Renee?
Share what?
Weren't you looking up the agenda for the meeting?
Yeah, I'm just in the town calendar. I don't see anything posted on the 5th.
Well,
But
I have a subscription to Sun Chronicle and I'm supposed to get notifications when anything with Town of Norton is in there, and I did not see that public hearing notice.
so hold on, let me get to their website.
How do you keep up with your notifications, Laura? You're like subscribed to everything.
I know what was in there because I know that they went through the process because the initial cost was like $10,000.
Oh, no.
Yes, that was not the cost that they ended up with because Paul had to go back to council to say, how can we do this without putting the maps in? So they definitely executed the requirement. Let me see what they have on their website.
I'm looking right now.
It's going to be 10 grand. Holy moly.
Okay, I just clicked on their website and came up with a map.
Clicked on whose website?
The planning board.
Oh. I thought you were on the Sun Chronicles.
Oh, got it. No. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I don't see it posted on the town calendar.
No, it's not on a town calendar. I was just there, but I think I must have clicked on something when I went on the planning board website. So they have town warrant articles 2020, marijuana overlay district info, village center core info, town hall closed for public access. I'm not sharing, sorry.
I'm not seeing it.
On Sun Chronicle. So let's see.
No, I'm on the town website.
I'm looking at the Sun Chronicle. Do you know what date it was supposed to run?
I have to search my emails to see what date it's required to run. Maybe it hasn't run yet.
It has to have been posted, I think, within 10 days prior to the actual hearing date. It's either 10 or 14. I forget what the Mass General Law is.
Let me see if it's not on their site.
All right, so I'm on the Sun Chronicle now. What am I looking for? The marijuana. Jeez. Oh. There's something
Why don't I
wrong with
just go to the Norton page because it has to be posted there and see where they're linking to.
what Norton page?
Our homepage.
Yeah, I didn't see it there. That's why I was.
Oh, that's where you're looking? I looked in the calendar. There's 1,000 things in here. I liked it when we had little icons. This should all be like in a on a COVID-19 page. So nothing on Sun Chronicle, Laura?
No, but I'm also not finding any notices. So I'm wondering, all I've got is an electronic subscription. So
Or you have to go to classifieds.
I'm looking there and I don't.
Legal notices are all in the classifieds. I'm scrolling through them right now, but I don't know what date it was, so.
Yeah.
There were some in today's classifieds, but not ours.
So I'm in under the subject classifieds, and then it's got categories.
Yeah, I think you actually have to go into each paper. You have an online subscription, right? You can look
Yeah.
edition, so you have to go into. You're not going to be able to
search it.
now.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Jesus, if we're having this much many.
It's probably why you're also not getting a notification, because it's not something that's searchable. It's listed all in the classified section.
Okay.
I was gonna say I tried searching on the Sun Chronicle and I'm not seeing it, but
Yeah.
So what was 10 days before the 5th? When should it have been in?
Should have
Saturday?
been, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the 25th.
Just like the 25th, it wasn't in.
Why do
What
we have all
section
these
did What section did you say, Sandy? Classifieds?
Go to classifieds, yeah.
Why do I not see classifieds?
So it wasn't the 24th.
Not good.
Was it the 25th?
Wasn't the 25th? No, I looked at. I'm going to the 23rd now.
If it wasn't so late, I'd text Paul. Actually, it's not very late, but I don't want to text Paul this late.
My eyes feel heavy. It feels late to me, but
It does, and it's only 8:45.
and I
I'm
still have
like
a ton of work to do after this.
Let me see
I
if
don't
I can
see it.
search.
I don't see it on the 23rd,
22nd.
although I did find a way to search. You got to go into e-editions,
Yeah, that's what I'm in right now.
and then you can do a search. And you can do it for specific dates.
Right, but I don't think it's going to find legal notices that way.
If you just do a search for hearing, it is bringing it up.
Well, I can't find it, but no, I don't want anything.
Why is it I select arrange by from and it doesn't work in the town email? Oh my God, I found that name. Laura.
What name? Oh, the one I mentioned before?
Yeah. From February.
Dare I say, if we're having this hard of a time finding it, that's not a good thing.
No, I know.
Well, they're never easy to find. I don't know why there's even a requirement to put them in there, because nobody ever looks in the classified sections. Oh, I found it.
Oh,
421. Oh, that's village map. Is that was part of it too, or no?
They should be together.
Here it is, marijuana. Yep, I found it. It's here. 421.
yay.
Nice job.
Okay, so we're good with that? Yes?
Yes, but we should talk about, uh, so things that have been controversial in the past, people have made or taken issue with. Yes, we may be complying with the letter of the law in regards to notifications to the abutters, and making sure it's on town website. But given given the current environment, I think we should probably be using best efforts to get that information out there.
Yeah,
We
so
should be
can you,
using Norton alerts.
oh, I see what you're saying.
Make
What's
use
in
of
that notification? Where does it say to go for information on the meeting?
Um, Specific information, general guidelines for remote participation. No, that's not what is it? Gives Paul's email.
Sandy, how did you even get to the 21st? All I can see is going back as far as the 23rd.
I just did 421 to 421 search. Like just search for that day. Please review the planning board website at Norton Mass Planning Board on the day of the event to confirm the meeting date and location. All the supporting documentation are on file in the office and on the website and the planning board website. So they get the planning board website, the Paul's email. There's no IDC mentioned, but it's all planning board stuff. Is that what you were asking?
No, I was asking, where do people go for the meeting, like to where the meeting is, or to find the agenda? Like, what's it say that the meeting, where does it say the meeting is being held?
It says to go to the planning board website, I think.
Okay, so I went to the planning board website.
So let me, when will the agenda be posted with like the meeting information?
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
I said it says it's going to be held in the Norton Media Center, but this basically based on the governor, it may be held via remote participation. And specific information and general guidelines are on the Norton website. Members who want to listen, watch, or participate may go do so in the following manner. It'd be on Norton Cable. Oh, it gives a number and a conference code.
Yeah, so that's the old code.
I'm just thinking like once we know the information and have an agenda, we can post it like all over the place. Post it on the
Right, exactly.
planning board thing. Post it on the IDC web, page. Post it on the Facebook pages.
So what happens when somebody dials into this number and doesn't get the meeting, though?
Well, I mean, we can also have somebody monitor that number. We can join the two numbers together. I don't think that's the best solution. I think we're probably gonna have to have somebody monitor that number. And if somebody dials in, redirect
it doesn't
them.
hurt to do the alert thing as well, but that doesn't get to everybody, right? It's only folks who signed up for it.
Nothing's gonna get to everyone.
Right, but if you just paper it everywhere.
So let me send Paul a note.
Sandy, you found that on Sun Chronicle?
Yeah, on the 21st.
That's fine.
Sandy, look over to, so I see it in the second column. Look over to the far right column. It looks like there's a duplication of it, and it's called marijuana overlay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's our evil sister town. They're having a
Yeah.
in the wino.
They're already partaking in the marijuana.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what?
No,
It's not a duplication. It's a separate. Yeah, the second one makes reference to the overlay and the streets.
Right.
So the marijuana is a typo? Nice.
Yeah. It does say, please review the planning board website on the day of the event to confirm the meeting date and location and participation options.
So we're just gonna make sure that we put it there. So who's the agenda waiting on, Renee? Is that waiting on Paul to finalize?
I think Paul's trying to get the Zoom. When I talked to him 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, I talked to him on Monday. He needed to get the Zoom info because we were talking about it. He's like, we have that conference call up there. I'm like, Paul, and he said it. He's like, at the planning board meeting, it was tough to follow the maps without the visual, right? I'm like, I think we need to I think Zoom is the only option to be able to share. So when we were on the phone, he emailed Mike for the information.
Okay.
Because we have the one account, from my understanding.
Because we're TikToking away here. We're gonna get it posted everywhere.
I know. I'm sending him a note right now.
She said she was not going to email him. No.
Whose Zoom account are we using?
The town Zoom account?
So
I told him I can use mine. I said I have no problems using mine.
who's going to admin? Is that Paul?
It would be Paul, yes.
Does he know how to mute people?
I will make sure he knows how to mute people.
Good point.
Maybe.
Just so everyone's not talking over each other, right?
Maybe
That's
offer to
fine.
co-host.
Yeah, I will.
And if it's possible, guys, this is Alyssa speaking. Could I just chime in really quick? So you don't have the link for the Zoom yet, right?
We do not.
But it's going to be posted on the website, or is it already on the Sun Chronicle?
The Sun Chronicle has the information as the Norton Media Center because the notice had to go out before, initially the stay at home was to be lifted on the 4th and the meeting was to be held on the 5th. So they put Norton Media Center down with the potential to have a virtual meeting, and then they provided a conference number. But essentially the direction was to go on the planning board website the day of. What we want to do is get the Zoom information beforehand so that we can get that out and we can put it on the town calendar, the planning board site, and then through other channels.
Okay, so it will be up there. If I just keep an eye on the website, I'll see it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to, I'm assuming that the IDC is going to post a meeting, so we'll have the same link, and it'll be right on the calendar.
Awesome, thank you.
Sure. And I don't know, Alyssa, if you have, you can sign up for alerts from the Norton site that I think, guys, tell me, am I wrong that certain agendas, right, you can sign up for? So that
Yeah,
when
but
people
not
post
ours.
an agenda, not the IDC?
No.
But it'll be on the planning boards too, as
It will.
well, you said, right?
Yeah, it will,
Okay.
yes.
And I can sign up for those alerts?
I don't know about the planning board. I know only from the calendar, but if somebody else knows,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never
That's
done
okay,
it for
I'll
many of
just
the sites.
Stalk the website.
I mean, we'll try to get it going here quickly.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll get that email to him and we'll try to paper that around. Anything else on that topic? Okay. I have a couple updates. So I know I mentioned Facebook earlier, right? We updated Facebook, but we need to link now back to that planning site with the marijuana information on it. Can somebody do that? Can somebody do the post and link back? Because it has we have the presentation and I believe the maps on the Facebook page, we don't have the parcels. Something I wasn't able to post.
Say it again. What are you trying to do?
What was it? Was it the maps I couldn't post?
So how do you,
Apps? The maps you couldn't post. You couldn't post the maps. You post the presentation and the. I don't think you posted the maps.
I thought you posted a link to the maps, no?
I thought she did too. And
I
thought she
did,
had the
I did, but it's
parcels.
the old link. Maybe I can just update that and send it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I could send it to the planning board site. Because the planning board site has everything on it now. It didn't initially, so yeah, I think you're right. I think I did link to it. Or does somebody just want to post with the planning board site to say, hey, you know, the marijuana overlay, whatever it's called on there, is documentation is now available on the planning board site. Additionally, the public hearing will be, what if we just do that? Additionally, public hearing information will be posted there and we just link to that site for now.
I think there's a total of 5 people on our site so far. So
No, we got like 80 and I just sent out a
80.
whole bunch.
Oh,
I just invited 62 people.
Okay.
Yeah, I invited like 70 this morning.
Yeah.
You
So-
can also share that post onto like Norton Neighbors and all those different groups.
Right.
So this link is. Let me ask you this: did we upgrade it? Did we update it in the Dropbox or no? Because the link that you posted.
No, what I'm
Dropbox.
saying, yeah, right. What I'm saying is, can we do a new post that links to the planning board site where they have the marijuana information?
Yep.
So the planning board, let me share my screen again.
I think I need a lesson in social media.
What do you mean? You're out there all the time.
No, I'm not.
So if you go to the planning and economic development, there's a section here for marijuana overlay. If we can link to this specifically, how can I send this? Can I send this? I can send it Facebook Messenger, right?
So why can't I find it under my groups? I don't even see it under my groups.
Sandy, did you give
It's
her
a
admin
page, it's not a-
permissions?
It's a
I know I
page, it's
have
not
it
a
because I've
group.
seen it pop up like with like so-and-so joined, but it's not showing up on my list of
I got the link.
groups.
I got the link, Renee.
It's not a group,
Okay.
it's a page.
It should
Oh,
be on your
page.
left side, yeah. It should be on the left side. Well, at least when I log in, it's on my left side.
Can I ask you
Kate.
guys a question?
Okay.
How did you guys ask for permission to join the Industrial Development Commission onto Norton Neighbors and Norton?
I did it.
How do you do that?
I don't know. It just popped up one day. So I just started clicking the button. It said, do you want to join these pages? I said, yes, I do.
Oh.
It was over the weekend, I think.
Yeah. No. And I'll have to check to see what you did. Because it's
So
great.
I added myself
Not a
as a member
criticism,
too. Can you guys add
Oh,
yourselves
I
as
see it.
members?
See. Oh,
Yeah.
you can't see it right
Share,
now. 'Cause
share, Denise. Can you share? Or are you on your phone?
it's on my phone. Yeah. Let me just get rid of my video background because so you can see it. Wait a minute. Oh, God, I'm so. Here we go. Oh, you can't see. It's too bright. But this it says suggested groups. Like right now, it says Buy Nothing Norton. I didn't even know I was a member of Norton Mass Moms. No, I'm not. It's just listing.
By the way, they're a little wondering what happened to you.
It just lists a bunch. It has a Quartermaster Supplies, something, Light 'em Up, Downtown Troy Neighborhood.
Yeah.
What?
Shocker. You're on this committee and you're on Light It Up.
I don't think I'm on any of these. If I am, I didn't know them. I don't even. What is Light 'em Up?
I have Buy Nothing, Norton Mass Moms, 175th Quartermaster Supply, and then I have the Downtown Troy neighborhood too. It's shown on the IDC page. It's shown on the right. It says suggested groups and it says join. It must be pulling from all of us.
Yeah.
But if you guys can, on the right side, I believe, add yourself as a member. We're up to 105 people or 107 people following the page.
We had before you guys even before we had any changes. I think we had 30, 35, 40.
What'd you say? Add us as a what? Where?
Add
do you
yourself
do?
as a member. So on the right side, there's a button or a bricklet that says team members. I'm the only one there.
Oh God.
You have to add yourself.
Do you want me to add Denise as an admin? I'm on
Yeah, I thought you did.
I don't know what I am. I don't know if you want. I don't know
I
if you
thought
want
I
to
did
be
too, and I
admin.
obviously I
it'll
didn't.
show up.
Hold on, I just.
I'm gonna join the light 'em up.
Well, we have a new 25 people reached or joined as are following.
I don't even see where you said to add us as a something or other.
Team member.
I don't see that though.
Here, hold on, let me share my screen.
I just received a message from Donald Trump. He's disappointed.
Okay, Denise, can you see my screen?
At the top where it says add yourself to team from the page.
I'm
But
frozen.
An admin, so she's not going to come up as that, right?
I have it on the bottom. I had it here where it said add yourself as a team member.
Mine is a banner at the top that says add yourself to team.
Do it. Maybe that's why I don't have it at the top.
I did, and then I took myself off, and I don't remember why.
Because you didn't want to be the lonely person sitting out there like I am now.
No, I forget what it was. So I did it. I said, yeah, sure. And then something happened. I popped up on another page, and it gave me some weird, these people manage the industrial demand, have chosen.
Yes, you are an admin.
Have the page on their profile and their name and profile pic shown on page.
Clearly, I shouldn't be because I don't know what the heck's going on.
You are an admin. I missed you the first time, but you are on there as an admin. So I did do that.
So Denise, when you go to your pages on the top right, when you go to the page tab of the page, I was getting a banner that said add yourself to this team or add yourself as a team member.
Why do we want to do that?
I don't know.
I'm not getting it, but I'm looking at it on my phone right now, so I'll try it later when I'm on here.
Why are we doing that, Renee?
I don't know. So you show up as a team member on the page.
But it says that if I do that, I'm going to get this on my page.
Yeah, which is why I think I took myself off.
Yeah, what it does is it shows your page on your personal profile page. So like if you go to your personal profile page, it will say Michael Toole, Justice of the Peace page, those kinds of things.
The only thing I have is a shortcut to the IDC. I don't know how I got it.
But
I can go into my pages.
If you go to your profile, you'll see the page.
Profile.
Well, this one?
No, your profile. You'll see now you're an IDC team member on your profile.
Is this not my profile?
No, that's your feed.
Oh, Jesus.
So just click where it says Renee.
Oh my God.
That's where I just clicked.
Oh, then yeah, that's your profile.
No, it's not your profile though. Hang on. Scroll down.
Nobody can tell me how to get there, so don't laugh when I'm not there.
Okay, I'll look at your profile. Hang on.
That's too funny.
I know it's somewhere. Edit details. But it should still show me right here. I don't see anything about the Industrial Development Commission.
It's actually easier to do it on your phone, I think it is, than here.
I'm on my phone and I can't figure it out.
Why don't I just go here to my pages,
I think
settings, manage pages, groups.
It's not showing up on your page.
Button.
Huh. Am I as myself or am I as my Renee for Norton? Like on my phone, it tells me who I'm acting as.
Right.
No, I am myself because there's me there. There's me and Jack.
Groups.
So I don't know. Anyway, so the IDC is a member of those pages.
Okay, so what did you need someone to do on this page? Link it to planning?
Yeah, just put a post with the planning and the marijuana link.
I just did.
Okay.
Oh, on that page?
I'm just creating a post with the link for the, so you should be able to see it in a second. It's uploading now. That's weird. Where'd it go?
Okay.
Posted it and I do not see it.
So let me ask you a question. What does it mean? Like there's a button that says boost post. What does that mean?
You can boost the post, I think, if you pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh. And to bring it to the top of everyone's feeds? So it pops up on their feed when they log in? Is that what it does?
No, it actually, you pick the people you want it to go to. So like when there's certain posts I'll boost for selectmen. So I'll say I want voters between 30 and 60 to see it that just live in Norton. And so you'll see it as a sponsor. That's up in the upper thing. You'll see it as sponsored.
Wow.
It
So
cannot,
fancy.
and
All
Alyssa,
right. I have no idea why, but I just posted something on the IDC page and it's not here.
it is there.
It-
And Alyssa just liked it.
What's that?
It takes a second.
It
Oh.
is there, and Alyssa just liked it.
I was going to say, I've refreshed
See,
it like
somebody
3
knows
times
what-
now.
Yes, I liked it.
Maybe we can ask Alyssa on our Facebook page and let us know how to do this.
There you go. I liked it too.
Yeah, that's weird. I still don't see it. Oh, how about an
Sorry,
upcoming
Alyssa. I
event?
was about to say, who's this Alyssa and why is she following us so quickly?
Because she's the only one apparently who knows how to use Facebook. Because I don't know why. You guys are on it all the time.
We can also post an event from this page too, it looks like. Upcoming
That's-
event.
I actually have not been on like any of the Norton Facebook pages that much at all, except for I do look for the daily posts of where to find like toiletries and sprays and
I
whatever else.
think if we're going to have the public session, we should probably post an event.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that if you want me to create.
Well, let's wait until we get that info. So I have the email to Paul. The reason too why you didn't see it, Laura, is I have that presentation pinned to the top.
Ah.
Because I want people to read the information and not just jump to the whatchamacallit. So if you want to pin yours over mine,
Okay.
you can, but like I don't want people just to go to the maps and then all of a sudden they're,
You're so pie in the sky. They're going to run all the apps.
Right. See, I know how to use the apps. Hey, don't
No,
you
they're going to run to the maps.
Did you guys attend that meeting where somebody was like, they said to me, you ran a social media campaign? And I said, well, yeah, and I ran on won on that social media campaign. This coming from somebody who like rarely used Facebook. And now I just don't have the time to use it. I would love to do it, but I just don't have I had to shut my notifications off because I just can't at all, like just too many avenues coming in.
Yeah,
So
I look for that post every day for where to find things, or if it'll pop up, like if Jeff comments on something, it'll say Jeff Lucy got a comment, and I'll be like, oh God, what did he do now? So I'll look at those, but that's about all I kind of look at.
So I can see from the things, I could see 18 people 7 hours ago like the IDC page. So that had to come from
They're
my
inspired by you, Renee.
they must be.
I invited people today too.
What time?
I don't know. Sometime between 9 and 10 maybe?
Do you want me to,
Or 8
Oh,
and 9.
maybe they're both.
do you want me to share that post on Norton Neighbors or any of those places?
Yeah, go for it. The one Laura just did?
I'm
Did
gonna
we ever
invite.
post, you know what? Hey, Sandy, can you post the, Laura, did you take the pin off of mine?
No, I just pinned mine. I think it moves yours. I think you can only have one pinned post.
Sandy, can you share the presentation first?
Isn't the presentation in this link?
Oh, this is the second one. The presentation is
The presentation's in the
It
planning
is in
board.
the link, but it's buried in the link versus just actually giving them the presentation.
Well, it's the very first thing. It says click here for the PowerPoint presentation. Then it shows the link for the maps, then the link for the warrants.
Okay, do it. And then we'll push the presentation in a couple of days and then we'll push the meeting stuff
Oh, I
once
thought,
that's available.
I just looked at what Laura posted. I thought we were gonna say something about the meeting, no?
No, because I didn't want to put anything because I have no idea of how to tell people how they're joining. I don't want to leave them hanging out there.
This is fine. If we just give them this,
I mean, people already know the date and they're posting it on Norton Neighbors. I was just wondering if we want to get ahead of what's already been posted, you know, or try to.
Well, so Laura, do you want to modify yours just to say, you know, public hearing scheduled for May 5th, more details to come or to follow or something? Sandy, is that your dog statue?
Oh, in the background, you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the public hearing May 5th. More information to follow.
All right, I'm inviting a bunch of Norton folks to the page.
Did anyone else get the notification about people liking the page?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
guys getting them? Okay. So we're all getting the same?
Yep. Sandy, you're going to do it to neighbors?
Public
Yep.
hearing is scheduled for
You want
May
to?
5th.
I'll do it to connect.
Okay. Do you want to do it for other reasons to get your name out there more?
It's up.
I mean, it doesn't benefit me at all.
The election's never going to happen, so no, it doesn't really matter.
Well, right now it has to happen by June 30th. That's actually
I
a
know,
higher
I
priority
know.
on my list right now than a town meeting.
I know that. I know that.
You want what? It's up to you, Michael. You let me know.
Yeah, I'll do both right now, and it's basically I'm just saying putting the whole post in there. Public hearing May 5th regarding marijuana.
Well, are you just going to share what's?
Sure.
Share Laura's post or no?
Yeah, that I'm sharing Laura's post.
Okay.
But,
Do it yet. I'm editing my post.
okay.
So a virtual public hearing is scheduled for May 5th. Access information to follow.
Why don't you put a virtual public hearing will be scheduled?
It is already scheduled.
Well, the public hearing is, the virtual part is not. Well, actually, the
It has to
dial-in
be a
number
virtual
is-
public. Has to be.
what if we're a bit more snazzy about it, that, you know, a public hearing has been scheduled and then it's going virtual, more information to follow.
That's going to be
You know
my,
what I mean?
I'm going to share her post, but that will be my comments.
I got to my profile, guys. There was a button that said updates, and I clicked it, and now it says update your profile. Just wanted to let you know. It wants me to update my picture where I'm 30
All right,
pounds
Tony,
lighter.
you're done.
Okay, how's this?
Are you sharing or talking?
Not, a virtual public hearing is scheduled for May 5th. More information on how to access the meeting to follow. Stay tuned for updates.
That's fine.
Good?
Mhm.
All right, I'm done editing. Okay, it's ready to go to share.
All right, I'll do it right now.
Okay, so that was my one update. So we have the PowerPoint, the maps, the parcels, and the bylaw on that planning page if you guys haven't looked at it. I already said the application process with town council, and then we talked about the resident responses. Those were my updates for today. Any other updates on this project? Okay, fantastic. You guys want to do some meeting minutes?
Sure.
Let's get these done. We'll be up to date. Let me share my screen. One second. I just have to launch them. Okay, so we have December 18th. We have January 8th. That was the one that I mislabeled last meeting. And then we have April 1st.
Are you sharing your
I-
screen right now?
I will be in one
Oh,
second. I
sorry.
wanted to get out of my file. No, that's okay. So the first one I will share is the December 18th meeting minutes submitted by Denise. It was a very long meeting, called to order at 6:45 and adjourned at 10:12. I'll let you guys read this. Just tell me when to advance. Denise, in reading this, I realized that we hadn't met with the police and fire chiefs.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, for the bylaws and stuff?
We had them. Yeah, we had them on the list. I actually noticed it when I did the timeline update. I had to update a bunch of things for COVID-19 on our initial timeline. So when I put that presentation together last Sunday, when I finalized it before I posted it, because remember we had a separate section in there too on the panel that I removed.
Yeah, we won't have time before the 5th to do that, but we can still meet them afterwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The other thing, well, after we do this, I'll mention my idea that I had earlier.
All right, 82 invites going, sent.
Anybody at that point for the meeting minutes that I can advance on the screen?
Yes.
Or are you reading the 1218? Okay. Laura, is that a bird? Do you have a bird?
That's me. I was getting messages in.
Oh, that was
I
you?
do not have a bird.
It popped up saying,
gonna say,
"Hi, Laura
look,
Parker."
I was gonna say, I can't picture Laura having a bird.
No. Maybe Rob Welsh infiltrated our meeting.
Does he have a bird?
Oh yeah, it was
Yes, they
in the
breed
joint
parrot.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a joint meeting yesterday.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else still reviewing the December 18th meeting minutes?
Nope. We're good. Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Second. All those in favor, roll call. Hold on, I gotta go back to my screen so I can just go down the peeps. Laura,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
and I will also say yes. Okay. And let me pop up next set. So that was December 18th. The next are January 8th. I still don't know how I rename this to like January 29th or whatever it was. Okay, let me share my screen.
My guess is that maybe the January 29th was the date that there was a revision made and not the date of the actual meeting. Do you know what I mean?
No, I thought I did a meeting. I thought I did.
I think I was just tired when I saved it as something else last time. And when I opened it, right, it actually did say January 8th. It was the right document. I just, when I renamed it, because Anthony had named it differently, so Denise, I was naming it like you had named them. I just put the wrong date in. I maybe just
Gotcha.
fat fingered it, but so
And
this is
I wasn't present at this meeting.
Nope. Shocking, huh, Michael?
You know, you say that. Name the meetings I've missed.
No, you have been good. I'm only kidding. You've been very good.
okay. So anyway, I have it up on the screen. You know what? I think we have Paul's name wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's fine.
His name?
Everybody knows who it is.
Fine. Just do it. I think it's D-I-G-I. I'll check when we're done here.
No, it's correct.
It is you?
Yep.
Ha!
There's emails the other way.
Okay, Seppi. It probably is.
Yeah, his email is D-I-G-I.
Well, yeah, I'm looking on the planning board website.
What's it say there?
GUI.
Oh my goodness, so his email's wrong? I'm gonna have to ask him now. Because the other one could be wrong, who knows?
Yeah. He's probably just so sick of having to spell it, so he doesn't care anymore. Either one works.
I used to look it up on, there was a video of him and it was his picture on the thumbnail. And so I would go into it because like 5 seconds into it, his name flashed up on the screen from Norton Media Center. So I always grabbed it from there, but now it's buried under
I think
dozen meetings.
it's wrong on the website because his signature says.
Oh, right. What's his signature say? He would spell his name, right? Is
You
it
would
G-I-U?
Yeah, it's G-I-U.
IU. All right. So
The website's wrong. Okay, let me know when I can advance.
you're good.
Let me make sure I didn't have him there anywhere else.
Nope. Denise, do you know Kathy Millard?
Why I'm laughing, right?
Yes. I know why you're laughing.
Okay, we're
I
meeting
don't.
minutes.
Somebody fill me in.
Let's do
I'll-
meeting minutes first.
I'll just text. I'll chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She liked the page, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Really? That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's just get involved.
All right. Sandy's laughing hysterically. Is this
Is
your
she reading
ex-wife?
Is she reading the meeting minutes?
She is my ex.
I'm bringing you guys back in, reeling you in, 9:28.
Sorry.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
The wrong spellings.
No, I fixed them.
Okay. Motion to approve as written.
Seconded.
Okay, roll call. Laura,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
and I also say yes. So that is January 8th, and I have saved it. I've updated Paul's name appropriately. Let me pull up the last file, please. Last one is from April 1st. And I will share my screen. Luckily, that invite came from Denise. And so this one meeting was called to order 6:39, ended at 9:44. And if you could read the new business first.
Did I type this one? I think I did, right?
Yeah, she sent me this too.
Okay.
I did have to modify something in here. You listed when you sent it to me that we had approved meeting minutes, and we tabled it that meeting and moved it to the 15th,
Okay.
or vice versa. That may have been a different. No, I think it was this one.
One of my favorite movies, Denise.
Up.
I cry every time I watch it.
One of my favorites too. My dog's name is Doug, after the dog from Up. And he's just as doofy.
Is that how you spell Alyssa?
Yeah.
Okay, because Renee wrote it differently on here.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't write it.
actually, no, that's wrong. Sorry, because her name looks on her phone thing is Alisa. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, but
You,
that's
you
still
know what,
Renee.
Alyssa, how is it spelled? How's your first name spelled?
It's ALISSA.
Okay.
Oh, 2 S's. Okay.
I think, is it right on Zoom? Do you guys see her name or just me because I put it in there?
No.
It's wrong on Zoom.
It's missing an S on Zoom.
That's my fault. Oops, let me go back to the meeting minutes. We'll get it right on the minutes though. Oops. Okay, I corrected it. Thank you, Sandy. I work
Well,
with
a
somebody
few people
who's
have
Elisa.
joined.
Denise,
Third-
back to the task
Denise,
at
you're
hand.
Everyone
killing
new
me.
likes today.
Wow,
Back
this
to the
social
task at
media
hand.
thing might work.
We got another one.
Are you guys done
Oh,
reading this part
it's
of the?
like
Michael,
people are
shush.
connected.
Michael, back to the meeting minutes. Can I advance to read the next part?
Yes.
You can, Renee.
I guess, yeah.
Renee, didn't you send these?
I did.
It was in that email I just forwarded to you, Michael.
Yeah.
It's UI, not IU.
It is IU.
It's UI.
Oh, dear
Sandy?
Lord.
Isn't there a rule? Isn't there a rule? Isn't there a rule for that? I before E, except after you and between you and I and.
Sandy, what was his signature?
IU was the signature.
Yes.
So it's wrong on the
Dang.
website, Denise.
Oh, dang it.
Denise, you had a Giuseppe. You didn't even have the DI in there. So how's it look?
Good.
The chair will entertain a motion when ready to approve the April 1st meeting minutes as amended.
Can I motion to approve it even though I wrote it? Does it matter?
I think you can.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve it.
Seconded.
Is that Laura?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor, Laura,
Yes.
Michael,
Aye.
Sandy,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
and I too vote yes. So we have successfully finally gotten through our 3 meeting minutes. So those are approved. I will print them out, sign them, and scan them back to Lucia and Brooke to get them posted. I'm going to stop sharing. Is there any other topic or item that we wanted to discuss before discussing the next meeting date? So I have a question on next meeting date. I have a conflict on the 13th. You guys can certainly meet without me, or we can try to change the date. Don't all rush to answer at once.
What do we need to do?
Well, hopefully we'll have the application process back, and hopefully the HCA will be approved by the selectmen by then. If not, it might come back to us. And I think it's probably discussion of what's left, right? So we have, we may have potential bylaw changes from the 5th, the meeting on the 5th, if anything high priority comes out.
So can I suggest that we'll wait till you can join, only because most of the stuff filters through you. So we may not have all the materials, you know what I mean?
Okay, so
Like
do we
the-
want to try like Tuesday the 12th?
Do you have a board of selectmen on the 14th or the week after?
No, we since we switched the recurrence of this meeting, it's now on the same week as the selectmen's. So I would
Okay.
have the 14th. Yes.
12th works for me.
Yep, I can do the 12th.
I'll be here in my house.
Doing nothing.
Sandy, okay for you?
Good.
Okay, I'll send a note out to the group that the next meeting will be then Tuesday the 12th, and I'll get an agenda out for that. Any particular other items for discussion? I'll put on there, obviously, to discuss. Maybe we can do, we can discuss the, obviously the public hearing, and then maybe we can kind of brainstorm on doing a virtual, like changing now the public or the panel review to virtual and figure out how we'd want that to look. I can get some more info from Shane on Norton Media Center. I'm almost thinking that Zoom provides us with a pretty decent avenue to do it though. So
So
We
I
can
don't know,
talk more about
how do I move the meeting just for the one event. I can't figure out how to change the date.
Just open it up and it'll say all events or this event,
Yeah.
and then just change it to 5/12, the date to 5/12. I can move. I can update it. Did I send that from did I send that from my Norton calendar?
I think so.
Okay. I'll update it then. And then hopefully we'll have more info. So I have to look. I had the bylaw. I don't know if I sent, I gotta look to see if I sent it to town council. Remember we made some changes to it? I can't remember now if I sent it. But I'm wondering if I didn't, should I wait until after the 5th in case there is something that pops up that we would want to change?
So I think the last I remember was you were going to do some kind of comparison
Yes.
because you thought I had the wrong revision.
Yeah. I don't remember if I did it. I'll go back and look. I'll search my emails. I just can't remember. I feel like it was a test that was done, but I could be wrong. Okay, anything else? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn at 9:37 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
And hold on, we have to do roll call. Okay, Laura,
Yes.
Michael,
I
Sandy,
Cindy muted.
Oh,
Oh, then I can hear you.
yes, sorry.
Okay.
okay, Denise,
Yes.
and I too say yes. So consider the meeting adjourned. Thank you guys for your time. Let me stop the recording and we'll see you in a couple or one day shy of a couple weeks.
Okay. No, we'll see you Tuesday.
Earlier than a couple of weeks.
Right, public hearing.
Cinco de Mayo, baby, with the margarita in hand.
Right.